What up?
I need that sports encyclopedia. Where you at, Steve Kim? Got Trent in the cut.
Coach JB.
Yeah.
Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
I'm proving with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. Hop into
You are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. You's not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
Gotta get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so fast it don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a wrap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight, and I said that guy should be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
The gas, Smitty and Jason Brown.
Coach JB Show.
What up? We are in the building. It is Tell the Truth Thursday, NFL Draft Day. And who's going to move up? Who's going to move down? We got a loaded lineup today. We got two ex-NFL players on. We got Jeff Nadu joining us specially on the show to talk betting. Who's going to slide up? Who's going to slide down? The props for it, the overs and the unders. Jeff has it all nailed down. We're going to dive into that. Plus, Steve Kim joins us. We're going to talk a little Mayweather-Haney Pops beef. Plus, his take on the draft. Matt McChesney joins us early. Shaun King and I will break down some film on some quarterbacks. Plus, Jeff will join us all together at the end with Shaun King, and we'll talk betting, and we'll get after it. So pound that like, subscribe, become a member. If you're not one, go find our Discord app, Slap Nation, become a member. Plus, winnable.com/slap-picks is where you can find our first down, where we will have cappers and everything starting this weekend. We will ramp up our winnable.com/slap-picks. So head on over to winnable.com, become a member, subscribe to our first down package today. We got a big show today, man. So pound that like. I probably will be doing something tonight as well, live during the actual draft. So stay tuned to that on YouTube. But it is Draft Thursday here on the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. So make sure you remember today. We got a loaded lineup, as I said. Matt McChesney, Steve Kim, Shaun King, and Jeff Nadu all talk NFL draft, our mock draft. Plus, we got a board we're going to show you as we plug and play the possibilities of who gets drafted, who gets traded up or down. It'll be a very, very nice addition to the show. So head on over here and pound that like. All right, let's get into it. Reggie Bush got his Heisman back yesterday. Clap it up for him. I've been an advocate of him getting it back without a doubt. No question about it. Even if it wasn't NIL, he should have got it back. He should have never had it taken away in the first place. But I have to question the true authenticity of the Heisman nowadays. Caleb Williams started at Oklahoma. Just hear me out. Caleb Williams started at Oklahoma. He goes to USC, wins a Heisman. Seems a bit non-organic. I guess I will say that. Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts. The list goes on and on from cats who started somewhere else, went somewhere, and won it. You didn't used to see it that way. You used to be able to claim that Heisman as a university. I don't know how I feel about a guy that leaves a place for 1 or even 2 years and then wins a Heisman. Is it truly that school's Heisman, or is it that player's Heisman? They are borrowing from each other in today's game. I don't know how I feel about borrowing each other in a game that used to be so tightly knitted. Players used to share dorm rooms, bond, become real tight, become friends for life. Now they get condos, beach houses, and off-campus apartments. Even Josh Rosen's slapdick ass had to live on campus, but guess what? Yeah, he got a jacuzzi put in his apartment at UCLA, but he stayed in on campus. I just find college athletics, football in particular, very unauthentic. It seems to me that it is just a minor league professional level where nobody has a care in the world besides what can you do for me? No more tradition, no more passion, no more brotherhood. A kid left USC, went to UCLA, and now has transferred back to USC. Like, what part of the game is this, people? Borrowing each other has become the name of the game, and I just don't know if borrowing becomes authentic or organic in the long run. So USC borrowed a Heisman from Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams Heisman from what he did on the field, but USC, do they really claim the Heisman? Can't wait to dive into it with Big Smitty. The NFL draft is tonight. We have a great show in store for you as we will break down the draft the best we can with great insight from Matt McChesney, Shaun King, Steve Kim, and Jeff Nadu. Bets on all picks. Lions extend Amon St. Brown and Penny Sewell, making them both top paid in the respective positions in the league. Deion Sanders talks about he knows his kids are transferring and entering the portal before they do, yet a few days ago talked about Edwards getting the ball at practice more, and then he enters the portal. T. Higgins, as expected, asked for a trade, but in alarming news, so has Hendrickson, also asked to be traded. We're going to dive into that. DK Metcalf addresses a rude little boy at a camp. And Gino Auriemma talks to former player before leaving for the WNBA. And we showed something alarming on this show the other day because we are the realest show on planet Earth. Former Navy SEAL getting arrested and in the cop car talking to the reporters. And now they found Navy SEAL boats in San Diego, California, just after that guy was arrested blowing the whistle. We're going to dive into that too. But before we begin, my wonderful self-esteemed co-host, Ball State legend and Naptown's finest, 317 Far East Side great, AR5 defending, Lamar Jackson loving, LeBron hairline having, Caitlin Clark jocking, Fox Sports' very own, Big Smitty. Welcome him in.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing, man? JB, what's going on, player? How you feeling, players? Draft, that's NFL draft that we are finally here.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
Coffee dog back. 3 days over.
Oh, you back eating and drinking.
Man, I'm down 9 pounds. Most of it's water weight. But I went shopping yesterday, Smitty, for a whole new refrigerator, basically, as far as you know what's going in it. So I used to do this too, but I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it today. I got my my little sweatsuit.
Oh, the actual sweatsuit.
You know the rubber
boxer. You like a boxer right now.
Yeah. I got that. So I'm gonna run the stairs this morning after the show. Okay. Hopefully the sun come out. Hopefully Joe Biden lets the sun come out here in Cali. You know, they don't cloud seed. Him and Diddy. But once we get that, I'm gonna go run up the stairs. Boom, 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 boom. Give me 10 stairs. I got 40 stairs that I put in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run those 10 times. I'll run up, old school football, run up, walk down, run up, walk down. If I blow an Achilles, I might not be on the show Friday. Okay. I might have to go see Dr. Jesse Morse.
Okay.
And then get the whole, and I'll be right back, Aaron Rodgers style, because it really it's a myth. It might not have really popped because we don't know about Aaron Rodgers, Dr. Jesse Morse, PRP. I might go get PRP, come back, boom. I'll be back Friday. If not, I might be off for the weekend, and then I could make a few videos selling that I blew my Achilles out on the video. It might go viral. I don't know.
Hey, it's worth it.
We'll see what happens there. But you know, I did my push-ups already, my jump rope this morning. Ready to get it cracking. I got a few other things going. We'll see what happens.
I'm proud of you, JB, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm so proud of you right now, man. You stay at it. You stay focused and locked in. There's going to be a lot of distractions over the weekend. There's going to be a lot of people wanting to come over.
No, motivated me?
Who?
What the a quarterback? What the we have a quarterback. We don't need a quarterback in
God damn, I hear something scratching my back.
My nose bleeding?
So Nadu,
My nose is bleeding.
Nadu's gonna be joining us today, talking about football. So no shit, I'm motherfucking ready to go. We ready to go. We got a lot going on today.
It's draft day, man. My coach is drafting today. It's a big news going on right now, baby. Come on, lives are changing tonight.
Yeah. We're gonna dive into it. We got a lot going on today. Bradley, new member. We need new members. We need some super chats today. We'll talk about you. We'll bring you on today.
You bring them on today.
Live in person, talk about your draft. You got a super chat for that, though. It's super chat.
We are bringing y'all on today. We talked about it last night. Pause. We bringing y'all on today. Super chat away. Shout out to Bradley for the new member.
I'm probably gonna be doing something live tonight. I might be, try not to drink during the week again. That's why I used to stop drinking during the week. That's when I cut about 30 pounds last summer. I'm gonna try not to drink, but I might have to. Maybe I just.
No, you don't need no liquor. Don't let liquor run your fucking life.
At night in the lounge, Smitty, it just the vibe changed. I just got to do tequila. I'll run extra. You know,
get a sweet tea or something. You ain't got to do no tequila.
What?
Get a sweet tea or get a
tea?
Get a mocktail or something. Like JB, you are in control of your life 100%.
Exactly.
Food don't control. No. Food don't control you. Liquor don't control you.
Tequila don't gain.
Cigar don't control.
Carbs, Smitty. I drink straight tequila. Sincoro, shout out to Pat Perez, Michael Jordan, Jeannie Buss. They own Sincoro. I got a few bottles. Very expensive, very good. So I advise you guys, unless you got that bread, you don't really go get the Añejo bottle or the extra Añejo. It's about $400 for the big bottle. If you like that, that's all I drink now, to be honest with you guys. That's all I really drink now. I'm sorry I got bougie, but you know what? Fuck it. If I earn it, I earn it. You know what I mean? I earned it.
JB, he gonna make a margarita tonight and use a straw.
Do I deserve it, Smitty? I don't know, but I earned it. So we're gonna dive into that. We're gonna get a shirt, I think. Deserve it versus earn it. We're gonna get that. Smitty, let's dive into quote of the day, brought to you by BetOnline.ag. What up, man? The real Coach JB here for the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. We got a proud new sponsor, of course, for the second part of the year, and that's BetOnline. Continue to be your number one source for all basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. March Madness is here. Join us every Monday and Friday with Jeff Nadu as we will pick them and up-to-minute odds, stats, and trends. You can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop to your mobile device. Head on over to BetOnline today. Become part of the team and remember to use promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, for 50% off plus welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Peace. On my own, offensively on my own. All right, Smitty. Talking to TikTok over here. You know, I got a couple of people over here. We gotta get your quote of the day. We got quote of the day.
Let's do it.
Smitty, quote of the day, brought to you by BetOnline. Genius is a myth. Hard work is real.
Genius is a myth. Hard work is real.
Smitty, you hear all this time, Ryan Garcia was a marketing genius. No, he wasn't. He fucking worked his ass off very hard and was ready for it. You just didn't see it. He okey-doked your ass. We've seen this before, Smitty. We've seen this type of behavior. It's not he's a genius. Hey, look, what's his name? Paul Brothers? They're geniuses. They're social media geniuses. We've said on the show. No, they're not. They busted their ass. They worked very hard. I don't think it just fell in their lap and here comes prime drink and here comes this and here comes that. No, they worked hard. Conor McGregor, he sold his liquor for $600 million. Yeah, he earned his name, though. He worked hard for his name. I don't think him being a genius. If he was a genius, don't you think he'd have been right out of high school fucking millionaire? I don't believe that's his thing. I think you have to do some hard work. And then when hard work meets, in the middle of the road, when hard work meets some desire, dedication, and some shit like that, guess what happens? Luck. Luck happened.
Well, okay, so there you go. So, like, I don't believe in luck necessarily, but to me, being a genius isn't separate from being a hard worker. It's almost
hard
like
work and preparation creates luck.
Right. I agree with that. But you can be a genius who worked hard. I think Einstein was a genius, but I think
I never heard of a genius just getting paid right out the gate. And who's been paid just for being a genius?
I don't know.
Nobody. They had to do something. They had to work.
For sure. But I think it's a combination of both.
I disagree with you. I think you're totally wrong. I'm just fucking with you. I don't I just disagree. Right?
The whole show is on this now. Fuck the draft. Forget
you and I will we'll stay on this for 40 minutes and fuck the whole show up. Contrary to belief, brought to you by PrizePicks. Head on over to PrizePicks as well. Use the promo code Coach JB. Smitty, this is another one for you.
Okay.
Karma is going to hit some of you real hard for breaking people who had nothing but good intentions for you. Karma's going to hit some of you real fucking hard for breaking people who had nothing but good intentions for your ass. I see it all the time, dog, and I see cats that come back round 2 and round 3 after the cats hit it, after he made it, and then they come back talking about, oh, dog, I knew you'd make it. Motherfucker, no, you didn't. Where your ass been at? Where you been at, dog? Where you been at, homie? Oh, man, No, I don't know. And that's the problem, man. That's karma going to hit them cats. And that's why I do believe karma's going to hit a lot of these cats in the mouth. And that's why I live like I live, Smitty. I ain't got to hide nothing. I ain't got to lie because I don't got to remember shit. I don't have to hide from nobody because I ain't done shit. And if you got beef with me, then you're a bitch because you never told me. You talk behind my back because I ain't never been confronted in person about no shit. But the karma will hit you. But guess what? Smitty hears it. Tank hears it. Matt hears. Oh, JB, that motherfucker. I'll fuck him up. No, you won't. You're telling these cats. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's unbelievable, dog. It really is unbelievable. Poll question, Smitty.
Okay.
Will the Raiders trade up with Commanders to get Jaden Daniels? We're going to dive into it. That's my poll question. Will the Raiders trade up with the Commanders to get Jaden Daniels? I think it is a strong possibility.
Don't answer though yet. We don't know what our draft. They got to wait and watch the show to see what we think. I don't know. We going to see.
Yeah.
We might decide it later. We going to see. Come on now. I know how to produce a show now. That's a cliffhanger for your ass. Now you got to stay around and see what we going to do. Come on, man. Shout out to my guy, McCoy. Do you see this man's picture, JB? You ever notice that?
Nuh-uh.
Just guess. Guess who you think that is in the picture if you had to take a strong guess.
Can't see it so little. Is that you?
It's my high school picture, bro, in the summer.
Is this your boy?
I mean, he's a fan of our show.
But you don't know him.
No, we don't know each other personally. No, he watches our show. But it's a picture. He's Team Smitty. It's a high school picture of me going into my senior year. I think going to my senior year, I had to mismatch gloves because I'm from the hood. You know what I mean? Hot summer day in Indiana. Had the bald fade. He's out there working hard. Far east side of Naptown. He has a question though. What is a Pat's move? Draft best of it. Hey, stay around. We're gonna answer all these questions later on. We got our mock draft going on. My brother, thanks for the $9.99. Thank you.
We can just give the guys a super chat us our synopsis real quick. What the Pats will do, what they do. I
know what they're gonna do. They're gonna get a quarterback.
Yeah,
best available.
But a lot of people think think about defense. I don't know.
I think they're going best available.
The key is am I betting the plus 600 on FanDuel, plus 580 on DraftKings that the NFL's top 10 picks tonight will not be a defensive player in it? Am I going to bet that? Because I got some news last night.
What you get? What you get?
I can't say just yet, but I got some news last night about a possible defensive player, man, going somewhere. And yeah.
Shout out to Jay Grizz. Them Bears are coming, champ. Get y'all popcorn better. We're ready. Shot City.
Jay Grizz. The Bears are fucking horrific. You're going to be horrific. You're going to stay horrific. Shout out to the 499, though. Look, let's dive into it real quick. I want to get into the full extension of this show real quick. The draft tonight, obviously. We're going to do a live mock draft pick 'em. We got a sheet to show you guys. Bailey, if you want to show just a little snippet of what we're going to show. We got a little graphic. We got a little plug and play live interactive spreadsheet that we can just plug and play. Caleb Williams goes to the Bears. We could put our mock picks right in there. We got all the college players in there ready to go. So we can plug and play straight from our pool of players in college straight to our teams in the NFL. So we're going to do that. There's going to be some major trades. I have a gut feeling. And I also think there's going to be some other things that happen before we even get into the actual draft, like the Raiders, Commanders possibly trading up. Who trades with the Patriots? Anyone? Or maybe not. Does the Cardinals, do the Cardinals give up their 4? And I'm hearing a lot that the Giants are trying to move up. And the only reason why the Giants would move up is for a quarterback. There's no other reason why. You're already going to get a good-ass receiver at 6 if that's what you want. So unless you're moving up, which means you've wasted $160 million, and it means you're starting over as a franchise in New York. So I'm just telling you, get ready for that discussion. So there's a lot of things that's going to happen. Who do Atlanta Falcons take at 8? That is some news I'm hearing that may deter me from betting on my top 10 players not being a defensive player. So I'm going to dive into that. I believe there's going to be some trades before the draft that from teams already in the mix, like Hendrickson asking for a trade from Cincinnati. Could somebody try to get him before the draft, like today, during the show, maybe after the show? T. Higgins, we already knew he was going to ask. Can he be a guy that goes somewhere before the draft, Smitty, which changes the draft for certain players? If I get a T. Higgins, a veteran, seasoned guy like T. Higgins, let's say in LA for the Chargers, do I now go tackle for sure? Do I go wide out, another wide out? What do I do in LA if I'm Harbaugh and I can get a T. Higgins now?
Right.
If I can, what team can get T. Higgins that will change their draft tonight? What team can get Hendrickson that will change their draft tonight? There's also other players out there. So we'll see. We're gonna dive into it. We got lots to talk about, though. NBA playoffs last night continued, Smitty. Shaquille O'Neal, I was watching TNT, and he bet Charles Barkley $100K live on TV. He was like, I bet you the Heat win by 10. And then Barkley was like, yeah, right, whatever. They won by 10 like a motherfucker. Shaq called that shit out. They won by 10. He had the money live on TV. $100,000 to him is like, what, $5 us?
I don't even think it's $5. I think it's
$1
because $5 to me still kind of. I noticed that shit a little bit.
Maybe
Yeah,
$1?
yeah, probably $1.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shaq.
If it's $1 to you, that's probably about 10 to me then.
10 cents to you?
Yeah.
You got hella money.
I don't got shit.
JB got a big ass house, y'all. Hella HELLA. Big ass house, jacuzzi in the backyard. He got a big ass hill where the dogs go run and play around at, fenced in. Just added in stair steppers. He's getting a big ass in-ground swimming pool. Probably the end of July, beginning of August is when they'll break ground. He got 9 TVs, a movie theater, 12 TVs, excuse me. Cigar lounge. He got YouTube TV, so when NFL is going on, he can watch all the games at the same time. Not red zone. I'm talking about all the individual games at the same time. He got a 90-inch screen in the living room, flat screen. Then he got another like 90-inch screen that he can move around and draw on. He got 2 big ass dogs that eat everything. They lick off the human plates, eat off the plate. He cooked fucking big time meals every freaking weekend. Brisket, ribs, chicken, beef, burgers, hot dogs, short, fat, skinny, and tall. He cooks it all. 3 bedrooms, brand new bed, brand new cover. Never slept in before I slept in it. Fucking his bedroom, huge closet, bigger than my whole fucking apartment. This mother, don't let him fool you, y'all. This motherfucker rich. Now I'm broke, so all the super chat y'all seeing is going to me. JB don't get a dime of it. We talked behind the scenes. So you know what, Big Smitty, you been busting your ass, man. You've been loyal for 9-10 months. All super chats gonna go to you. So that's how we doing it right now. But shout out to JB, that man living the good life. Keandre Woods, what's going on, man?
You really think I got paid? You don't know? They get a goddamn dime.
Keandre
Everyone
knew.
thinks I got paid on Netflix. No, I'm just a hustler.
Ask about me.
I just wrote a best-selling book. You know what I'm saying? I just got a whiskey and cigar line. I'm just a hustler. You gave me a platform. I took off and used it. Now, they didn't give me a dime, but guess what? They've made billions of dollars off my motherfucking name. They blackballed me. Shit. Lawyer, hit me up. We might have to holler at Netflix. All right, let's dive into this. NBA playoffs real quick last night. The Heat won by 10 on the road. Again, to my fucking point, Smitty. This is the Celtic team that I keep telling y'all about. Y'all didn't want to believe me. This is a team that's so good that should have absolutely smacked Miami last night, game 2, going to Miami if they're so good. Because shout out to Josh Faley in the chat that's a Celtic diehard.
Faley.
You had all your players, and they don't even have Jimmy Butler, and you can't put your foot on their neck. Again, this is what happens in this fucking Boston Celtics franchise over the last 20 years, 15 years. This team is all about three-point shots, and if the other team gets hot and you don't, you're losing. And that is the recipe to beat the Celtics. The Lakers did it this year. No, the Lakers dominated the Celtics one game. I was like, yeah, because they went cold and the Lakers aren't caught fire. It's just it happened to be that game. I watched it. You got the Bucks who beat the Celtics real bad one game. Celtics beat the Bucks too, but I'm just saying because they only lost 16 fucking games all year now. Let's talk about it. That's why I'm breaking down some of these games. The Celtics are who we thought they were, dog. I'm telling you.
And who was that?
I'm telling you, Smitty.
Who do we think they were? Because I think they look like the NBA fucking champions this year.
Oh, I know. I think they're hype.
Well, we might have put a little side bet on that because I don't think this one game is going to the finals. You got to remember, Miami Heat was just in the finals, and I think then the Heat beat them last year, so there's not going to be no easy out.
They're the 8th seed playing.
It don't matter. This is Pat Riley. This is Pat Riley.
We're comparing what you said. We're not comparing their. Okay, let's not even talk about 1 versus 8.
Yeah, that don't matter no more.
It do matter, but let's not even talk about it.
Not when it comes to the Heat.
This is a team that had one of the best records in NBA history. What is it? 4th best ever? The best record, one of the best records in NBA history. And you're talking about how good they are. They lost to a super mid Miami Heat team that just got into the playoffs on a fucking humbug, beating the Bulls second time. And now you're talking about this team so good.
7
dog.
Seed. They were the 7th seed last year, Keith, and I believe they beat the Boston Celtics last year.
I just think they're fraudulent. Celtics if you're this good, Smitty, my point is there's no way you lose last night without Jimmy Butler going home. There's no way you lose that game.
You can't lose a game.
Not at home.
So if they win this series,
you're that dominant, Smitty. As you've said on this show, you're that good. Celtics are dominant. They're the best team I've seen.
Yeah.
How do you lose by 10 to a mid-ass team with no superstar?
That's life, JB. At the end of the day, it don't matter. When the Warriors won the finals, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago? If I'm not mistaken, I had to go back. I recall a game within their journey in the playoffs where they lost by like 20-something, maybe close to 30 points during the playoffs. It was a weird game. They had a horrible game one night and still went on to become the NBA champions. So what I'm saying is I hear what you're saying. Like, you would think the Celtics would just walk through Miami right now, sweep them, and win every single game. but that's not necessarily reality. And all I'm saying is just because you lose a game in the first round doesn't change anything. The Boston Celtics right now are still the most dominant team out east. Everything's right in front of them. Huh?
What was the Celtics favored by yesterday? Anyone know?
I don't know. Vegas gets it wrong all the time. Vegas had Devin Haney.
15.
They had Devin Haney
15
favored.
points at home, and you lose. You lose 15 points. 14.5 point underdogs, and you lose. Favorites, and you lose at home. And Miami has 0 superstars. Rozier's even hurt. Rozier's even down. And you let a cat that gets on the podium after the game with a pink shirt and a white hat light your asses up. Tyler Hero. He lit your asses up. Not only did he light your asses up with 7 threes, he had like 10 assists. How do you do that? And then Caleb Martin after, let's just give you some real
break it down
context. After Caleb Martin clothesline and low cutted your fucking all-American best player, franchise guy, Jason Tatum, and there was a beef. Jaylen Brown went up and ran up on him and blah, 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 blah. The guy that took out your best player, very close to being a real bad injury, he goes off and dominates you the next night? What? Smitty, I'm just going to keep it real, dog. If a cat takes out Kobe, the next game, Ori, Fish, somebody's fucking that dude up, and he ain't going to go off like this. Back in the day, imagine that in Detroit or Chicago or something. Somebody, and my point is this, I'm not even comparing teams or the era. Comparing that there's a player, though, that has some sort of nuts and guts that's going to go after Caleb Martin. Not in a dirty way, but, hey, I got a personal vendetta, and you try to take my best player out. And my coaching would have been like, hey, dog, lock this motherfucker down. He fucked our best player off. Almost got him fucking put out. I told you about Porzingis. He's a super hit and miss guy. Don't ever bet him, because the time you bet him, he'll choke it off. The time you don't bet him, he'll have 60. That's the guy he is, and he didn't do shit last night. He didn't do a thing last night. He's a bust. He's a guy that's 7'6" who sits at the three-point line. That's not going to win you a title. Not when Joker's on the West. It's not going to win you a title. I'm just telling you right now. Everyone picking the Celtics? What? Why? So I'm just telling you, dog. Jaylen Brown, 38 last night or something. I don't know what he had. 28, 38. But his points are meaningless, dog. I've watched this dude play for the last 3 years, and they're talking about Batman and Robin, and he's this guy. He's a no-show in big games, dog. Look at him. Yeah, you can talk. Oh, he had 38. Look at the points, dog. Look at when they are. Look when he scores. He don't score down the stretch in any game when it's tight. And I'm telling you, he only scores when they're up. They disappear, Smitty. Tatum disappears, Smitty. And we've seen Tatum hit big shot after big shot in big games sometimes. But when it comes nut crunching time, Tatum and Brown are arguably one of the two most talented players in the NBA as a tandem. Yet they choke in big games. This is why I'll never bet the Celtics, dog. I'll never bet the Celtics. This isn't the Celtics of old. This isn't the Kendrick Perkins Garnett Celtics. This ain't the Paul Pierce and Rajon Rondo Celtics, dog. It's not. I love the addition of Holiday. You and I have talked about it, but it ain't enough, because the stars got to score in the playoffs, and they got to win, Smitty. You know the stars win these playoff games. Giannis's, Dame Lillard's, these guys got to win these games. This is why I'm not a huge Dame Lillard guy. He hasn't really been in the fire in a deep playoff run. He had one good run in Portland. Other than that, I don't know if Dame knows what playoff basketball really is, to be honest. Not his fault. Not his fault. I'm just telling you. Yeah, he's been
in the playoffs a lot. He didn't end it series a lot, and motherfuckers wave motherfuckers off. He didn't make it to second round multiple times. West Coast Finals one time. Come on now.
That's not a winner though, Smitty. That's not a championship bloodline.
But
it's not a championship bloodline.
Context matters though. You're in Portland, JB. Ain't nobody here.
I hear you.
So I'm saying the fact that
I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm not. So you got to listen to the message, not the tone. I'm not saying it's Dame Lillard's fault.
Why bring it up? Why bring it up then?
He hasn't really been in a deep run to winning a title. He got to a Western Conference final, I think.
Yes, which was huge, though. That's a big deal for Portland. That's huge.
I get it. But what I'm saying is he's never really had multiple opportunities to get over the hump.
All right.
We've seen other guys have to have all these opportunities to finally get over the hump. KD had to fucking go to Golden State, get over the hump. Other guys have been in these deep playoff runs to get over the hump. Dame hasn't really had it. He had that one good run. Other than that, dog, like, are we dependent on Dame to take Milwaukee to a title? I wouldn't. I don't think so. That's just me, though. I don't know anything about basketball.
Real quick, though, before, because we kind of hopped off the topic. The Boston Celtics, you're talking as if the Celtics haven't been to the Eastern Conference Finals like 3 times. Like they ain't been to an NBA Finals before with this main like core or foundation of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I get there's games where like, damn, Tatum, like, come on, man, like be more aggressive. Damn, Jaylen, like what happened? But let's not act like these guys haven't done enough before to make it to the big game. These guys are young and they've had a crazy amount of success at a young age, and it's just they've fallen short or haven't won the big one. We're like using that against them, but most guys don't even make it as far and as deep in the playoffs as these cats have already at super young ages. So to me, it's like it's more of a kudos to them for having so much success at a young age. And now, reason why I'm a believer in them now, I think through all that experience of making the Eastern Conference Finals and losing, and going against LeBron before LeBron left the East and going to the finals, I think all those experiences have prepared them for this season. And with the addition of Drew Holiday and Porzingis, I just think that this is finally the year where they can like finally, when all of it comes together and they get it. I don't see nobody out East beating them.
How many times can they go and lose before you just say, "Oh damn, dog, they just can't get over the hump"? Like, how many finals have Boston been to with Tatum and Brown?
They've been to 1 NBA Finals. But they've been to like 3 Eastern Conference Finals, I believe. So.
And let me get context. The East has been the worst the East has been in my lifetime. My lifetime. This has been the worst the East has been. And this is a team that's so good. And you've been to 1 fucking final in the worst Eastern Conference it's ever been, Smitty. We don't even have LeBron in the East no more. Like, you don't even have any beasts in the East no more. Embiid's hurt all the time. Like, Jimmy Butler left a team that possibly could have been a super team, 76ers. And that guy left. And when that happened, the whole East kind of just watered down version of the East. Bulls get DeRozan, and everybody's like, oh, shit, the Bulls are going to load up with Levine. No. The East is the worst it's ever been. And this team that you're anointing so good of a team hasn't been to the 1 final, been to 1. So, like, dog, they're getting older really quick, Smitty. Like, we keep talking about Tatum's young. Hey, homie, he's getting older right before our very eyes.
26, JB. Stop. I can't let you add that. He's 26, bro. Michael Jordan didn't win his first chip until fucking year 7. LeBron did the same thing. So
we always compare eras, dog. Look at the era.
All I'm saying, you can say what you want.
You're going to see.
Control what you control. Control what you control.
Younger.
Control what you control. All I'm saying is, JB, some of the all-time greats didn't win until year 7, year 8, they first ring, and we call them the legends in top 10, top 5, number 1 player in all time. But when these young cats, that's what I'm saying. The only if Tatum and Jaylen Brown,
what year is he in? Like 6,
7 or 8. He's in 7 or 8. He got drafted
8 years. He's been playing.
He got drafted 2017, I believe. Yeah, like I don't understand what
the wear and tear on them legs,
JB.
Dog,
it's a way different. It's a way different era.
Been the NBA 7 years.
It's a way different era, JB, and way different time. These cats are playing to 38, 37 because of the technology that they have. As much as they rest, come on now, the lack of physicality. You can't say that on one end that's the softest league that has ever been, and then on the other end say the wear and tear. Make a choice. Make a choice.
He's still playing games. He's still running and jumping. It doesn't matter about your technology. Time is still a thief. Time is a thief.
He's 26.
26, and he's been in the league 7 years.
That's normal. Like you're acting like he's an outlier. Like that's what
it's normal. Fine. Keep it normal.
He played 1 year, I think, at Duke, and he got drafted. That's what motherfuckers do. That's what they do. That's a normal thing.
I get it. But all I'm telling you is, though, he's wearing himself down year by year, and you act like he's so young. He's been in the league 7 years. He's a prime season veteran at 26 years old. Shout out to him. Bottom line is, though, he's wasting his time. He's wasting his time in this league. If he don't win one soon, his window is like this, Smitty. Their windows now in this league are like this. When is he going to win it?
This year.
Oh, okay. I bet money on it.
I bet you too.
I bet you all the money in the world.
I bet you all. I bet you everything.
I bet you they choke it again.
I bet you. I slap in the face. I bet you that.
All right. Who else played last night? Fuck.
I don't even care. OKC and Pelicans. OKC
looked
dominated
good.
from
I called that. I knew they'd blow them out.
You didn't call it. You didn't.
That's what Boston's supposed to do. See, when you're that good and you're the 1 seed, OKC showed you what a 1 seed does, and that's a young ass 1 seed with a young ass roster, and they put it on New Orleans without their star Zion Williamson, similar to what Boston should have did with the Heat without their
New
star.
Orleans are not the Pelicans. You bet not compare the Pelicans to the Heat. You bet not compare the Pelicans to the Heat. You bet not. You bet not do that. You bet not do that.
Pelicans got more talent.
Talent. We talking about dog. Who got more dog in them? See, that's the problem. You losing touch with that piece of it. The Heat got nothing but dogs. That's a Pat Riley fucking led organization with Eric Spoelstra. I don't care about no talent. They play one of the hardest working teams every single year.
How many titles?
Defense. They play well.
How many titles does that dog ass team have since LeBron left?
They haven't won one, but they've been to 2. They've been to 2. Think of it.
The East is horrible.
Man, stop, bro. You fucking crazy, bro. You just said that he don't have a lot of talent. I agree with you, but they make it to the final not because the East is horrible, because they got dogs, because they're well coached. And let's be real too. In the playoffs, Jimmy Butler's a different animal. He's a superstar. Now he's not playing right now. I'm saying in general. You asked about previous years.
You just made my point.
Jimmy Butler is a superstar in the playoffs. So that's why they made it.
You're making a point.
I'm making your point. You asked about finals, so that's a different conversation than right now. In the playoffs, you lose games. Why didn't the Lakers sweep the fucking Sixers in the finals? I don't know. I don't care. We won the series in 5. That's what I'm saying. As long as the Celtics, if they lose the series, different conversation. They lost the game, JB.
All right, who you got tonight? Cavs, Magic. Cavs putting their foot on the Magic.
Yeah, Magic is trash with no experience.
It goes to Orlando. It goes to Orlando. I'll be betting all this on winnable. Smitty and I will be betting this on winnable. Jeff Nadu, all of us. Orlando's minus 2.5, by the way, in this game. At home, game 3. Usually you see game 3 transitional games transferring over to their home court. Usually you see the game 3 winner be the home team, especially down 2-0 if you look at the stats. So the betting odds and the money would be with the Magic. I kind of am looking at the Cavaliers team as a sweeper. I think they're going to sweep Orlando in this one. I like Orlando. They're a good young team. I don't know if they're ready. I've seen Orlando play this series, Smitty, and I think they approached it as a regular season game. They don't have the switch yet. They don't know how to flip the switch. I think Cleveland's been there. Donovan Mitchell's hungry. He's back. I like their roster a little bit more. I like Cleveland in a sweep. I think they're going to win this game tonight. So I would take Cleveland, definitely the points and the money line. Knicks 76ers. Listen, the 76ers could have won both games in New York. If you watch the series so far, it's been a really good series. It's probably been the best series. The Knicks 76ers game is critical because if Embiid has to stay perimeter heavy and he can't go down low. See, what people don't understand with our argument yesterday about Steph Curry changing the game, when you've taken the big man out of the paint and you've expanded the big man and you created spacing, it's created a very, very vulnerable attack to the basket. So you take the big man and expand them. And if you play man and you have to go and take him out, and then you've opened up lanes for the Tyrese Maxeys of the world, who's the fastest ball dribbler in the league right now, Kyrie's, all these different guys who are so fucking electric can get to the rack at an all-time pace. Jalen Brunson, I don't know if the 76ers keeping Embiid in the perimeter is going to successfully beat this Knicks team. I think the Knicks also are going to sweep, even though they're going to be four hard-fought games. I don't know if the 76ers are healthy enough, Smitty, with Embiid being the guy that's just not the guy. Like and listen, he fucking dominated.
He's still hooping. He like 70%.
He's so great, talented. Like skill set wise, him and AD, in my opinion, are the two best skill set. Natural looking jumper, can make free throws, can go out and shoot the 3. Also have great post moves, got both hands in the paint.
And beat
him and AD separate themselves, in my opinion, skill set wise. Giannis is limited. We know he's a freak, but he's also not as pure. Like these guys, if you watch them, they're pure shooter. They can shoot anywhere on the court. They got fall away games. They got a very, very vast
bag
arsenal in the toolbox, in the tool shed. Their toolbox is heavy. A lot of these guys' toolboxes are empty, and they just have one or two things in it. These two have a full toolbox. Their tool shed is packed, and I think that those two guys are the most talented. But if I can't live down low because mentally I'm scared to blow my knee out, then I just think the Knicks are going to use that, and it's going to be hard, man. Maxey, both of them are balling. I mean, but you got to get like Shaq says, you say, your others involved. Harris got to show up. You got to get some from Buddy Hield. He's been a no-show since trading
JB. They just got to finish the games and not make bonehead mistakes. The game was over. There were about 5 points with 27 seconds left. How do you blow that? How do you blow that game, man? And I shame on Kyle Lowry too for I think during that entire mix he makes a horrible play, a horrible pass.
Nah, he missed a free throw.
He did a few things though, and I'm saying he's a veteran. He's a vet. So like that's why you're there, huh?
You know you fix it though, right?
How you fix it?
You put your big man in the paint and you feed him the rock, and he gets fouled and he goes to the line, and that's how. But when your big man's at the 3-point line late in the game, guess what? Opens up drive lanes. It allows you to get to the lane. It allows you to get threes. That's the problem. See, if you slow the game down, imagine back in this Shaq down in the low. And we got 30 seconds left. The ball's going down low, even though Shaq couldn't shoot free throws. The ball's going down low. Why? Because then everyone collapses. He can kick it or do whatever. We don't have that no more. Your big man's on the perimeter. Right. So you have a lax box, like in the run game in football. I'm going to run the football, Smitty. You got a lax box. This is what the NBA has become. So I don't know. Shout out to the LA Kings last night in NHL hockey, by the way, who I bet on to get back at some Edmonton Oilers who dominate them over the past century. But they're in the playoffs too, right here. And they're becoming LA, Smitty. So stay tuned for that. All right. And then the last game tonight is Nuggets Lakers, of course. It's going to be very interesting because that game's going to be happening right here at Crypto in the Staples during the draft. So, it is what it is. I don't know, Smitty. The Lakers.
I probably watched second half of that game.
After the demoralization of the last game, this team has to have some sort of mental fortitude to bounce back, and I don't know if they have it. Because if D'Lo's not hot like he was the other night, I find it hard to see a third scorer helping out the Lakers. Because listen, the facts is the stats and the data show that Austin Reeves is a nobody in the playoffs. And he has yet to show that he's the third scorer. Unless they're up, unless they're blowing out some shitty team, he's not the guy. Hashimura last year, who I bet on a lot and won some money on, he was their third guy last year and played great in the playoffs. He's been a nobody. He's been an absolute nobody for the last 2 months of the season and as we enter game 2-3 now of NBA playoffs. Hashimura could be a guy because I like Hashimura. I think he's a talented kid. Yeah. Since he was at Gonzaga, he could score multifaceted ways. I like Hashimura. I don't know where their third scorer is going to come from. And you don't have any perimeter defense in Vanderbilt being hurt. And I don't know if he's back or not. But Vanderbilt and Prince together on the court present problems. So to date, Smitty, Prince and Vincent, who you put some dollars in to get some guys to come over and help shoot and help the perimeter, have been zero. They have done nothing. Like this guy, they've combined for 2 points. Why are you even playing Vincent? He hasn't played all year, and now all of a sudden he's going to be good. And then you go get a Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie averaged 25 in an NBA playoff series a few years back in COVID for the Nets.
Right.
What happened to him? You went out and got him late. A lot of people liked the addition, but the problem is he has to be a guy off the bench separated from Bron. Because the ball don't move with Bron, and this guy just sits around. He's not a guy he's not like fucking JJ Redick just sitting there waiting for a ball to hit a three. He ain't that guy. He has to dribble, drive, dish, He's got to do those things. Get nasty, put back, rebound ball. He's a garbage type of scorer. He's not saying he can't score, but there's garbage scores, and then there's just straight up, scores. He's a guy that finds ways to score throughout the game. He's not a guy that just take off, dribble, one-on-one, move out the way. He's not that guy. So I just find this nucleus to be a very bad one. They almost remind me of the Suns, Smitty. The Suns and the Lakers are very, very similar in their design and their
top heavy and don't have a lot of help from there. But the role players typically play better at home, so that's kind of what I'm counting on as a Lakers fan. The one thing I'm counting on is that D'Lo will still score heavily. It might not be to the exact same extent because he was super hot at the beginning of the game, game 2. But I can see D'Lo still giving you like 17 points just throughout the game, just naturally. I can see Austin Reeves finally just having a good game. But I just think it's going to take like a damn near perfect game for the Lakers to win. I think LeBron's going to have to come in very rested and have a throwback type game. Like when I say that, I mean like 38, 12 and 12, and then AD has to also have 36, 19 and 7, and then like these guys, like they got a hope to win. They're at home court advantage. It's just hard to believe that. I mean, Lakers are going to lose the series. I've been told y'all that, but to get swept again, they lost 10 times in a row. JB, like you as a coach, as a former player, JB, like at some point you're like, all right, y'all, I don't give a fuck how much better they are than us. I don't care if we got to foul these dudes. I don't care what it is. There's no way in hell we're gonna keep letting these dudes beat us. Just as a competitor, just as a like at the end of the day, it's not like Lakers just got some trash squad. Like you got 2 top 75 players of all time on the team. It's only 5 people on the basketball court at one time. 2 out of your 5 are 2 top 75 players of all time. One of which y'all believe is the GOAT. Yes, he's older, but he's still playing at a high level. So I'm like, hey, bro, I get the Nuggets are a better cohesive team, and they probably Mike Malone's probably a better coach than Darvin Ham at this point. But at the end of the day, you can't win one game. So that's why I'm like, I'm a lean Lakers, but I'm not confident. But I'm gonna go with the Lakers because I just feel like at some point you gotta win, bro.
I'm gonna be honest. If I was a bettor at this point after that demoralizing loss, I wouldn't bet the Lakers tonight. I'm going to bet on game 4 tonight. They'll win game 4 if they're down 3-0 because the Nuggets don't give a fuck. They're going to go home, and that's the game. I'll be honest. Now, I do believe the Nuggets will put their foot on your throat and try to win game 4, but I just think the Lakers will figure it out, and they'll win. If the Lakers win tonight, I actually am optimistic that they can go back tied 2-2. If they lose tonight, though, which I think the betting odds would be that they'll lose tonight because that's just the team after that loss is what I would say. But we got a lot to dive into, Smitty. If we want to take a break before it gets heavy, we better do it now.
Yes, let's do it now.
Let's take a break. I'm going to give me a little coffee. Back
some water.
After 4 days.
I'm going to give you some water probably. Ice cold water.
I got water too.
Well, you don't really need anything else then. You should be good. Go take a piss, come right back. Coffee. Coffee's horrible for you. Make your breath stink.
Coffee makes your breath smell good, though.
White folks love coffee. That's some white people shit.
Every brother I know like coffee.
I didn't say we don't like it. I said y'all love it, though.
Nah, you love it, too.
It's cool. Like, you got to add some cream.
You just young.
Nah, I like it. You got to add some creamer to it and some milk, some almond milk, and shake it up. It tastes pretty good. I don't like black coffee, though. That shit is disgusting. Just straight coffee. It's horrible.
You black, though.
Difference.
We'll see you in 5.
Fire.
So what? Mahomes is white.
No, he's not. All right, listen.
Is that Tomlin or Smitty?
Fuck you guys. Mahomes is half white. We're taking.
Nah, let me tell y'all. Hey, JB, keep it real.
Your game.
JB, keep it real. In the hood, when you mix, what are you?
They say you're black.
All right, stop. Because they say.
Racist ass Bailey don't have the white fucking graphic in here.
There you go, Bailey. Fuck the white guys.
Nice job. Oh!
Look right. This just looks bad.
Look at that.
The black team doesn't look so bad. The old white team looks awful to me. Like, I don't even want to be associated with the white team.
Hey, but hold on, Matt. First of all, start up top here. Those are the coaches. Yeah.
Belichick, Andy Reid.
I got E-Dub secondary. I got E-Dub in the secondary. I got Belichick as my head coach. Andy Reid my OC.
I did 23andMe, okay? And I had 8% Nigerian. So fuck the white team. I'm going over to Schmitty's team.
Yeah.
You ain't going to put me on the graphic. I'm going to Schmitty's team. Yeah, put me on this motherfucker. Mike McDaniel's white ass is on there. You can take me. I got 23andMe, 8% Nigerian.
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, we got Matt, baby. We got Matt, baby.
That's right, baby.
Come to the black delegation, man. Come to the delegation.
How you got Mike McDaniel?
He's a brother. Look it up.
He ain't no brother.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he
8%.
is.
He's an 8%er like me.
I got a cousin that's real light skinned. His daddy black. My uncle. They super light skinned. Trust me.
Hey, Big Smitty, is that you or Tomlin? I'm confused.
We all looking like, don't we, JB? We all looking like. So hold on, my lineup is crazy, man. I got Mahomes starting at quarterback, of course.
Mahomes is white.
I got Jonathan Taylor, healthy Jonathan Taylor at running back.
We got the list or no?
I got on my phone. The wide receivers are crazy.
How about Amon-Ra St. Brown and his brother? Their mom's white. She's German. Shit.
Nah, they brothers. They brothers.
German white.
They brothers, man. They brothers.
With the white German mom, he's still black.
You got to ask yourself this, and this shit's it's just being real. If they got pulled over by the cops, what are they gonna think?
That's not fair.
I'm just saying. That's how you got to play it. They brothers.
So that's the determiner. If you get pulled over by the cops, that's where you decide if you're a white or a black guy.
What are the fans gonna say when they pull you over?
Oh, okay. So I have a 96 Impala SS, bitch. Woo! Real clean. Every time I get pulled over in it, I roll the window down and the cop goes, "Oh, I didn't expect to see you." And I'm like, "Oh, you racist fuck." It's happened like 5 times. I swear to God.
All right. So CMC is the only white running back anyway, so he's going to have to play corner also.
Well, he can play both ways. I watched him do it in high school out here. He's bad.
Fucking Travis Hunter.
He's going to play both ways.
I love how Mendenhall is like, yeah, all the white guys suck except for that one running back white guy. He's pretty fucking good. He's not. He's
backup running back is Juszczyk. The backup running back is going to be Usage. What's his name?
Juszczyk.
He'll be the backup. He'll be the backup.
He's a fullback.
All right. Don't matter. He's the backup, Smitty. Just stay to your lane.
We got a white fullback. He just scored up the other day.
I know. Wide receivers. We got Cooper Kupp, Adam Thielen, Nakua is ours. And
no.
Tight end.
Yeah, he's my guy.
Andrews and Kelsey.
I don't like this rule, dog.
I'm not giving y'all Nakua. I can't do it.
What do you mean you can't do it? What do you mean you can't do it?
I can't give you Nakua.
You don't get the choose. You don't get the fucking. You don't get
Chat. Is Puka Nakua white or black?
You're not allowing it, motherfucker. You got Mike McDaniel. Shut the fuck up.
He's literally black though. Like he's literally black. Like his daddy black. Like he a brother.
Mike McDaniel wore some hoop earrings once. I know that motherfucker's black.
Motherfucker McDaniel's more cracker than my motherfucking pale ass.
He's way darker than you.
He ain't darker than me. He's not darker than Nakua.
Nakua, that's what I'm saying. Nakua one of us.
He's Polly. He's
Man,
ours.
keep going.
Nakua is white. Ask him, he'll tell you.
Polly's not white. Ask the chat, but keep going.
He's white.
All right. So Matt,
yes.
we just took 5 linemen plus an Uso. So we moved. I took Lane Johnson.
So we get the Usos.
We get
So the white guys get the Paulies.
Yeah.
No. We back like we never left. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Big Whiskey? Happy Days 89, Malik Henry, J. Kush, Baby Girl. Send in your super chat if you want to call in later on in today's show. It's draft day, round 1. A lot of kids' lives are going to change today, and we are about to give our predictions here very soon. But first, our main man, JB, offensive lineman, defensive lineman extraordinaire, 0 to 60 pie. Make sure you go subscribe right now. One of the realest dudes on this show, Colorado legend, Jets great, Broncos great, Colorado's finest, the one,
the only Big Matt McChesney. Welcome to the show. Clap it up, JB.
All right, real quick.
I appreciate all that, but I don't know how great I was.
Hey, accept it. Accept it.
Thank you.
You're a fucking half percenter. You're not even a 1%er. You're like shit.
You're 1%er, by the way.
Less than that.
All right, fuck it. I'm great. You're right.
You're rare, like Mr. Clean with hair.
I'm a half percenter. Smitty's a no percenter.
So. I'm a 2%er. D1 college football still 2%er.
Yeah, but I'm talking about 1%ers league.
You ain't
a half percent. I gotta check.
We in the same boat, motherfucker. Don't try to.
You didn't get no practice squad check
because I fucked my knee up. That's the only reason.
You wouldn't have made it. You're too small.
That's the only reason. I was a fucking dog.
Too little.
I was way better than you in college. First of all,
you're too little.
Way better than you in college. Way better than you in college.
All right, let's dive into this real quick. So we've already talked about the Colorado transfer portal every single day on this show with Matt.
Every single day.
That's all we do, dog. It's fucking ridiculous.
Hey, real quick.
It's ridiculous, man. What fuck?
Matt, how do you feel about Coach Prime and should they?
Oh man, he took a big shit this morning.
Let me ask you something.
It only graded out on like an 8 out of 10 on the shit scale. It's a little fucking. That's not up to standard for him. Shador's shit was really good though. Shiloh's not so much. But tomorrow we'll get in on the shit scale too on a Friday. It'll probably be pretty good after draft night, some wings and shit. So everybody out there that's worried about all their shit, we're gonna gauge their shit tomorrow, literatively, figuratively, all things. It's all
JB, real quick. Every time we talk about Colorado, Matt be like, I know you guys are gonna be pissed off at me. You're gonna hate me for it. But first of all, I love Colorado. I'm an alum. I played ball there. Because I get my fucking opinion doesn't mean. Go ahead, JB. I'm sorry. I know you about to say something.
No. I was saying, real talk question before we go into it, Matt. Real question.
I'm so sorry, bro.
Would you rather them not put out the content to actually discuss? Like, seriously, just ask. I think everybody wants to know. Like, would you rather just cover them on a monthly basis when you finally see some practice film or but every day and they make it easy,
would I rather it be like everywhere else?
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, I think that. All right. So if Coach Prime would have adopted a program, if they had, let's say that, okay, and I'm going to say this again. Say I'm the last senior to win a bowl game at CU. I'm 42, dog. They haven't won a bowl game since 2004. Let's flip that and say since 2004, all they've been doing is like being consistent. They're like an Oklahoma State, all right? They're ranked. They're good. They're putting in pros. They're not really winning national titles or nothing. They haven't won a conference title, but they're still consistently a great program. And the head coach decides to leave, and they bring in Coach Prime, okay? And he started doing things this way. I would probably be, as an alum, like, why? We don't necessarily need this. We're the program's established. You've adopted it. Let's see what you can tinker with. But because, let's just be real, man, because he came into a situation where they're 1-11 and just absolute dog shit, I think it's almost needed to show everybody that it's changing. So it depends on the situation here, man. So I don't think that we'll put it like this. I don't know if it's necessary at this point to put everything out every day. Like they've already established it to the point where it might be, in my opinion, it might be good to keep some things close to the vest. That's all. So if there's nothing, look, Don Shula used to always say this, the great Don Shula. If you have a plan and you can't change that plan, your plan sucks.
Ooh, that's a bar.
I mean,
let's
be honest.
I'd like to. I don't think that they should have not gone down this road. They did the right thing in going down this road. It obviously worked. I mean, everyone's talking about Colorado all the time. I mean, it's a hot button topic to say the least. I mean, we used to talk about CU, but it was more like we were like joking about them being 1-11 and shit, and like all that. But like now it's the topic of conversation at all turns. So
let's be clear. They're not the only fucking school losing kids and getting kids.
Oh man, everybody is. I mean, this is what it is.
This is the latest here. This kid, Georgia D tackle Christian Miller.
Yep.
Enters the portal at Georgia. And now he's coming back making I'm going to finish here. I'm good. I'm ready to go. The finicky shit that we're seeing, to me, is just like, dog, you're at Georgia. There's not really a lot of fucking upside to anywhere else. Like,
but that's all money and leverage right there.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, if it ain't Georgia or Alabama or some blue blood ass school that's been winning, and you're leaving there, Matt, then what realistic shot do these other teams have?
I think what Matt just said, though. I think some kids will.
On keeping you, though. I'm saying, like, what other realistic shot?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is my thing. Like, it's it's so fucked up. I wish we could talk about it. Tomorrow. We'll have to discuss this, Matt. Let's dive into this Colorado thing real quick before the draft. Real quick, Bailey, go ahead and do it. So, Matt, give you context. Dylan Edwards is expected into the draft portal. He did already. We talked about it. And it sucks because we know why, and we don't know why, but we saw some people talk about it. And Dion came out and said he knows, which I actually do agree with. I think he does know when people are going to enter the portal because other players do talk, and especially his 2 kids, I'm sure, or 3 kids if you add Travis Hunter, they are going to tell him, "Hey, coach,
so how do I look, Daddy? Like a goddamn snitch."
Yeah. Hey, Johnny's gonna try to get out of here, coach, Dad. So I think
that sucks. That's not cool.
I know. I think he does know, though. Like he said. So he said, "I know when my players are gonna enter the portal before they do." Well, play it, Bailey. This is what he said.
If I know who's gonna jump in the portal from our team, what are my players are gonna tell me? Not a coach from somewhere else because it's illegal. Correct?
Mm-hmm. So then. 4 days before Dylan Edwards enters the portal, he says this.
About how he's kind of rounding out his skill set, playing a little bit more receiver. What have you seen from his development, and how do you imagine he'll be used this year?
Dylan is a tremendous asset. We're going to try to get the ball to Dylan in all forms and facets. We got some pretty good receivers. So
he said just the other day, so he must have not known.
Probably 4 days prior, he didn't know. Maybe he found out 2 days prior.
He didn't know Edwards was going to the portal. That happened.
He didn't know. And there's no way you lose. You don't want to lose that kid, especially since I think he's known Dion since he was 9 years old. So like that to me is an alarming thing, and that's just what my question is.
That's the one that's also a red flag.
That's the shocker to me. So obviously you don't know now, which tells me even more. This is actually defending Dion. If you don't know now what's happening, it's even worse, Smitty. It's even become so fucking bad that a guy like Dion don't even know. And I think Dion has a pretty goddamn good temperament or temperature on his kids and what they're doing on a daily basis because he's a guy like me. I think he has that it factor to understand what his team is doing on a daily basis. So if he don't even know, Smitty, really, seriously, where are we at in college football? Come on.
This fucking comment right here from
what?
Max Hess.
What'd he say?
Well, I know the guys from DNVR. That's Ryan and Jake. Those are my boys. Like I do shows with them all the time during the fall. Those are Dion's 2 biggest meat eaters right there.
I was wondering, I'm like, what is Matt laughing at?
I knew you knew him, man. That's why I never really called it out. Did they ever play anything? Did they ever play football?
Who?
Those guys?
The DNVR cast.
No.
I didn't. I already said it myself, Matt. So I just wanted to hear it. Hey, Matt, like seriously, when Dion's talking, this is what they do. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have you ever played?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do that one more time, JB. How they be doing that, JB?
Hell yeah. They're going to enter the portal. Like, fuck you talking about? You don't even play.
Look, I love them both, but This is what I was talking about yesterday on your show and on my show. Like, the media is so fucking worried about saying something that offends someone up there that they're just like, they walk into everything and they're like, put him in there. And he walks up and cradles the balls and he's like, all right, Jake, get over here. And he's like, oh, and it's a team effort.
Damn. Fucking orgy.
So that means they have to double hand fist it?
Oh. Now we getting a little.
All right. We got to get to
NFL draft.
We got to get some NFL talk.
Oh, God, man. Love you, Ryan. I'm just fucking around, guys. Relax.
Hey, Matt, Lakers tonight got to win.
Dude.
Anyway, I don't give a fuck anymore. Let's talk about
the Lakers are not fucking winning.
The draft.
The draft, right?
Even if they do win, actually, I hope you guys do get one game in LA so I can go to game 5 and watch you lose.
Matt, we got our main man Bailey worked a lot of hours on this, and we created a whole interactive spreadsheet like I don't believe anyone else will have on their show. So we're going to plug and play our first round draft picks tonight, or that's going to happen tonight. Matt, maybe you can join me tonight if I go live for a few minutes during the actual draft. But right now, we've already plugged and played Caleb Williams at 1. So I want to go through our picks because we got Shaun King on next, and Steve Kim's going to talk about it as well later. Nice. I want to get your first 10. We're just going to go, or let's go 11, Smitty. Yeah. We'll go 11 because the Vikings. I think there's going to be multiple trades before the draft starts tonight, which it always usually does, Matt. I think T. Higgins and Hendrickson, which is a shocker, defensive end, who's a real good pass rusher for the Bengals, has
17 sacks last year.
Requested a trade. So if those two guys, let's say, for instance, Matt, a team gets T. Higgins that would also be in the market for a receiver. If they got T. Higgins in a trade, does that move some things in tonight's draft, which we've always seen happen? Hendrickson, let's say Hendrickson goes to the Jaguars or somewhere. Does that move what they do in the draft? So I just want to throw all these things out there that can happen tonight because we've seen this for many years. We know how it works, and I'd be trying to do something in that regard. And if I'm the Bengals, I'm trying to keep both of those guys. So it's a very finite thing. Now, my question to you is Washington at 2. If we're already foregone conclusion that Caleb's going 1 of the Bears, if Washington's at 2 and they're saying I'm taking Jaden Daniels, do the Raiders make a big boy pimp move and move up to 2? I'm hearing rumblings that may happen. So can they move from 13 to 2? And what would they give up? And we only got 15 minutes with you, Matt. Let's dive into it. At Washington, number 2, who do you think they take, and do they do anything?
Look, Washington needs to take quarterback. They got rid of Howell. You need to take Jaden Daniels and just roll with this and see, and develop this kid and put tools around him. I think he's a hell of a player.
There you go. Jaden Daniels is in, Bailey. Good shit. I like this.
I love you, Bailey, and just keep texting me. I'll respond eventually.
No, call his ass.
Call him.
His ass.
Everyone, blow me. All right.
There we go.
Daniels is the second pick. He's a lock. I think he's a really good player. I don't see how the Patriots can't go quarterback at 3. I mean, they don't have a guy either unless they're going to really play Zappa or Zappy. And
Brissett. Kobe Brissett.
And they got Jacoby Brissett too. So if they're going to go down that road, maybe they don't want to draft one of these quarterbacks and they want to wait for next year's group and kind of do what I think the Broncos will do, which is trade back, accumulate picks, and go next year. Or get in at the end of the first round, early second, and get one of these guys that maybe falls, something like that. But the Patriots, I think even the Chargers are in an advantageous position to accumulate picks and make a move, right? We've said all week, and you've said it many times, they've got the number 1 pick, all right? So the Patriots actually sitting here, they could get a king's ransom for this pick right here because it opens the door for J.J. McCarthy, for Drake May, for Marvin Harrison Jr. I've heard rumblings that Schmitty's squad, the Colts are fucking around and trying to go get Marvin Harrison Jr., which from a family perspective, that is one clean ass move right there. That would be Go give AR, an opportunity to throw to that guy in a family atmosphere like that. That would be a home run there for the Colts. So I guess it really depends on. That's the first real big move.
Where's the Colts at?
15.
The Colts are 15, so they could move up. They'd have to give up a lot.
It's basically harder. That's a harder move than the Raiders going to 2.
Oh, yeah. It's hard. Look,
we'll give them 2026. We'll give them 2027. We'll give them 2 months. We'll figure it out.
They could do it at 3 or 4. So I don't think Arizona will trade back too if they're given enough. But then again, you have to understand. I heard a bunch of folks yesterday talking about how they like the neighbor's kid over Harrison Jr. because he can do more.
Yeah.
That's 6'4" though, Matt.
Yeah, but Marvin, that's what I'm saying. Marvin Harrison Jr. is like a Megatron type talent. He's an Andre Johnson type talent. He's a Terrell Owens type talent.
Big body.
He's a Michael Irvin big motherfucker. He's a DJ Metcalf. This is the kind of guy you bring in and he just starts dominating and he does it for years and then gold jacket this shit and out the door you go. So he's a different kind of player than his pops. I think the kid from LSU is more like Marvin than Marvin Jr. is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
I think that both the Patriots and Cardinals are in a very advantageous position right now to figure out which way they want to go here. The opportunity to trade back and accumulate picks, that's the route I would go as a GM pretty much every time, bro.
So who would if we're number 3 here? What do you think?
Just staying with New England, right?
Yep.
New England's picking Drake May.
Boom. There we go. Drake Measy, North Carolina.
Number 4, assuming they don't trade, I'm going to go.
Sorry, Matt. Bailey, there's no way to slash and put our picks in with them, huh? There's no way to do that, huh? So Smitty, let's just talk through Matt's picks. So Matt's picking. He's the main picker today. He's the guest. We'll put these picks, Matt. We're betting actually on.
Yeah, I love it. Let's do it.
So I'm gonna go with Caleb at 1. I'm gonna go Jaden. I'm gonna go Jaden. I'm gonna go Washington trades down to the Raiders, and I think the Raiders.
We weren't doing trades. They were just doing straight draft.
We are. Oh no! Oh, you're talking about no movement?
Well, it's your fucking.
No. I'm just giving my scenario. We're just gonna go with your picks.
So I'm not going to do any trades, although I think there's going to be a ton of them.
I know, and we're not ever going to predict that. We don't have the time for that. But I just want to say, I think that actually McCarthy's going to go 3. That's just my pick to the Patriots.
Oh, nice. Okay, I can see that happening.
4.
So 4 is Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that just you can talk as much as you want, but I see that happening. After 4, you've got 5. 5's the Chargers. Now, look, I know we're not talking about trades, but dude, if Justin Herbert's really available and everyone in the fucking world is not calling on that quarterback, you're crazy. If Justin Herbert
may not be available, though, man.
Let me ask this question: if Justin Herbert was coming out in this draft, would he be the number 1 pick?
Yeah.
You think so?
Fuck yeah.
So, knowing what we know now, obviously about
Herbert
Justin,
was coming out of Oregon and had the 13-1 season he did and was all everything.
No,
as a walk-on, by the way. Remember, he was a walk-on.
Well, no, I don't think he'd be number 1 then. Coming out of college,
you don't think Herbert would go to Caleb Williams?
Coming out of college, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there some way we still have the same information about what he's done in the NFL somehow? Then yeah, but just what he actually did at Oregon coming out of college, I don't think he would be above Caleb. I don't think he had a more successful career in college than Caleb.
Fair.
You know,
all right, so what?
See this, Matt? You don't know about this, man.
You don't see, man. I don't know about that.
Why did you just ring the doorbell?
Because that brings Bailey in. Hey, Bailey, real quick. Bailey wants to let everybody know what he's betting real quick because he's putting money on this pick, Matt, and he wants to get your thoughts. Go ahead, Bailey.
No, you said, speaking of JJ McCarthy and Chargers and all this trading talk, I put money on McCarthy to the Chargers. I've been saying for months that I think that Harbaugh, he's been talking all this stuff about how he really likes McCarthy, all this stuff. And I'm hearing, Herbert coming back from that injury with his hand. There's, talk about how that might be an issue. So I put money on McCarthy to the Chargers. Gives me a nice little payout. I took it at plus 4,500, I believe, on FanDuel. The odds were way higher months ago, but that's just me, man.
Wait, you put it down months ago, too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, baby. I appreciate it. All right, pull it back up for us.
So we're talking about them drafting McCarthy and keeping Herbert?
No, they'd have to get rid of 4. They'd have to get rid of 5 to get that high.
I mean, you'd have to trade. Well,
unless
the Chargers can just draft McCarthy and keep both of them, right?
Matt, walk me through
technically
this.
they could.
Topic here. Walk me through this. Walk the fans through this. Would the Chargers call those teams and say, "Listen, man, are you taking McCarthy? And are they obligated, or do they have enough friends that are tight enough to say, listen?" My question is, would they fuck with the Chargers and say, "No, we're not going to draft them," and draft them? Or are they going to say, "Hey, man, listen, if you're not going to take them, I'm going to take them at 5, even though I got Herbert," and then it gives me? Or are they going to say, "Hey, I want fucking Herbert if you're going to talk about getting McCarthy that high"? Is that a huge chess game in this fucking deal in the GM's office here?
Yeah, they're holding a major piece right now. I mean, if there's any smoke behind this fire here and they go draft JJ McCarthy, essentially it turns into, well, are they going to sit on him all year? At what point is Herbert on the trading block? Does Justin want out? If I'm Justin Herbert and you draft JJ McCarthy at 5 and you just won a national title with him, and you're talking about how he had the best pro day you've ever seen and all that, obviously Harbaugh wants this kid to play his quarterback, I'm out. Like, I'm not going to the facility. You can trade me right now. Like, he just got a huge fucking payout. And then all of a sudden Justin Herbert becomes literally the most sought-after player in the history of the National Football League.
I think there's 2 things that's going to tell us.
Everybody needs to get in on this. Fuck.
Yeah, I think there's
Broncos, make a trade, homie. Go get Justin Herbert.
I think there's 2 topics on this conversation that you probably know better than me, Matt. One, I think he has a no-trade clause.
Yeah, he does have a no-trade. I was about to say he's a no-trade clause.
If he walks in and says, "I'm out," he can void his own no-trade clause.
Right.
That no-trade clause is for, like, him. He walks in and says, "Fuck you." Yeah. So
I don't see
number
Herbert
2,
doing that.
I believe Smitty and Matt, if he were to leave, I think it'll fuck up their cap it'll fuck the cap up on their roster completely. I don't know if unless they've been doing this for months, Matt, I don't know if they are ready.
His contract has $133.7 million in full guarantees.
Guys, if they trade him, the other team absorbs the deal.
Not necessarily. They don't have to.
The Chargers don't pay him after they trade. That's not the way that trade would go. They're not offloading him to get rid of his salary.
But if a team says no, then that means they just hold on to him.
Well, yeah, but if they trade Herbert, the other team pays his salary. The Chargers don't pay the salary from just because it's guaranteed through them. If they cut him and he signs with somebody else, they'll pay him. Like Russell Wilson was getting paid by Denver but playing for Pittsburgh. Right. That's a thing. But Herbert getting traded, he's getting
ate up. Aaron Rodgers' cap got ate up by the Packers. So did
Yeah, I'm not saying that the cap won't get well, hold on. The cap won't get ate up. He won't be on the salary anymore. He'll be gone on another team. The other team absorbs the you're taking on his guaranteed contract when you trade for him. That's the Chargers won't be negatively affected by that at all.
Ain't no way the Chargers. Hey, shout out to Bailey. Ain't no way in hell the Chargers are doing this.
There's no way this is going to happen.
If I'm Harbaugh, why do I even go to the? You go to the Chargers because of Justin Herbert. That's the reason why you went there in the first place.
Or you go to the Chargers to have complete control and draft his own guy and start.
You go to the Chargers, Smitty, because college football is fucked. So
yeah, that's the other thing too.
Let's go to the Chargers, man. Who you got?
I don't know now.
JJ McCarthy at 5 for the Chargers. Bailey fucking convinced. Yeah, Bailey convinced me. I might put some money on it.
Ooh, got Matt thinking. All right. Ooh, that's big. All right, Giants. I've heard rumblings that they want to move up, Matt. If they move up, it's only to get a quarterback, correct?
Yeah, everybody that's moving up is going to get a quarterback. Now, they gave up more sacks than anybody last year, and it was the most in franchise history. So, look, this is the time where you're already paying Daniel Dimes $45 million next year, or Daniel Penny's. He's terrible. You're getting rid of him. You're trying to build your team to keep Dable from getting fired. I think they just pick Joe Alt here and move on because they just lost their quarterback in McCarthy.
All right.
Joe
Alt.
Here you go.
Joe Alt to the Giants. All right. I think they take Brock Bowers to help Daniel Jones, keep him tight, keep him a safety net right at the line of scrimmage. It allows him to get better. They got to get a wideout eventually too. So I think
the offensive line, or he's going to get murdered again.
Tennessee. Smitty, go ahead.
Now, I think Brock is going to go to the Chargers. That's my little.
I would love that
because he can block, catch. I think he's a multifaceted player. So
I said that too.
He's a hardball guy.
I just don't know. I agree with Shaun and Tank Johnson, though. I just don't know how valuable a tight end is at that early stage. You can get them probably later. There's a few of them. Let me dive into Tennessee Titans, Matt. Where you at 7?
Tennessee, I'm going to go with the Neighbors kid from LSU.
Elite Neighbors. There we go. A lot of people are saying that this is the top receiver. Like I know Matt was talking about earlier. I know I talked to James Jones yesterday, and he's one of those guys who believes Neighbors is better than Marvin, based upon everything I think Matt said. Like from a pro day standpoint and pure route running and all that, maybe Malik's a little better. But like you said, Marvin's just he's a big body. He's a different type of guy to where, I don't know. It's a tough one, but Malik Neighbors is a bad boy.
With Atlanta, I think that they're going to protect their new investment with Cousins, and I think that they're taking that big tackle out of Penn State. I can't pronounce his fucking name.
Oh, okay.
Fashanu or whatever. Fashanu?
Yeah, the alphabet. He's a
Fashanu, yeah.
And then the Bears.
Uh-oh.
Now the Bears and the Jets, this is where it gets a little tricky here for me because
Brock Bowers might be on the table.
Which one of them wants the tight end and which one of them wants the receiver, and then the other guy's getting the other one. So I'm going to go with the Bears. The Bears already have that the tight end from Notre Dame, the Kemet kid. I think he went to Notre Dame. He's a good player. They like him. I think that they go Aduze, the kid from Washington here, and give Caleb Williams a toy, and they're boys too. Like they know each other well. They're friends. So Caleb will be yarning for that.
If the Giants don't take him, and if the Bears, I actually like the Bears taking Brock Bowers at 9 to help Caleb.
Well, right now with the Jets, that's the next pick is Bowers to the Jets at 10.
So he likes the Bowers to the Jets, Bailey, at 10.
Matt makes a good point because the Bears already have Cole Kmet is a pretty good tight end.
He's a nice player.
He's nice.
But you need 2 now in this league. And number 11, Matt, just go to Minnesota real quick. Number 11 pick. People talking trade, talking about them moving up with the Chargers. There's been all kind of talks. What do you like there?
They've got to figure out the quarterback position here. So when you're looking at who's left, all right, you got 3 guys off the board. So when you're looking at the next round here, I personally think that the next guy off the board will be Penix. Now this is where the Raiders and everybody needs to get involved. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders move up. But Minnesota also, I don't think they're going to be picking here. So I'm just going to say the best quarterback available. I'm going to say Penix to the Vikings, but I don't think Minnesota's picking 11. I definitely think they're going to try and move up and get one of these quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious. If you're free tonight, Matt, I might hit you up to come on for 10, 15 minutes during the draft. And we'll talk. All right, Matt, I appreciate it. We're going to take a little break, get back. And today, are you on at 10?
No, I'm actually on at 1:30. Drake Nugent, the center for Michigan, just won a natty. He's home. We're going to do it from the lab down at the gym, and it'll be a great show. So make sure you go check it out on YouTube, on Twitch, subscribe and like. We appreciate all the support and everything. You guys have a good day.
All right, Matt.
You too, my guy.
Our next guest is a self-esteemed Korean co-sell, crouching tiger, hidden dragon with hidden gems, the encyclopedia himself, Miami Hurricane, analytical genius.
All right.
Our main man, you see him on Whitlock every day, giving real raw takes. Welcome in, Steve Kim.
Morning, fellas.
What up, Steve? You got real quick right out the gate before we talk NFL draft. Have you seen this Mayweather-Haney dad debate? I know you saw it, of course. What does that stem from?
Well, I think this goes back to the fact that Devin Haney, who used to really spend a lot of time at the Mayweather gym growing up, I believe the father, Floyd Sr., trained him for a while, and then he didn't sign with Mayweather Promotions. They kind of branched out on their own. So I think that's been an issue. And then the fact that Floyd Mayweather seemed to consult with Ryan Garcia before the fight. So now you have, crossing enemy lines, accusations of disloyalty. And then I think Garcia came out recently on Twitter, may have been yesterday, and said, hey, Floyd told me to come in 3 pounds overweight. So that didn't help the whole issue. And I hope it doesn't devolve into anything further. But boy, a lot of naysayer bombs. Woo! Wow, that was like Nagasaki and Hiroshima there.
Steve is hilarious.
It's the truth. Hey, that word is used more by people that look like them than anyone else. There's a
we use it a lot.
I just felt like, guys, what are you doing here? You guys have a lot to lose. You want to play bang bang shoot 'em up. I hope it doesn't devolve into that. I think Bill needs to just take this loss and understand, because I've talked to people. The way they handled that fight after the weigh-in, they were so overconfident in just beating Ryan Garcia at any weight under any circumstance. It clouded their judgment. And I asked somebody, why didn't they have a second day weigh-in for Ryan Garcia or place a limit? And someone said as soon as the money was brought up, and then they didn't want to really do their own second day weigh-in. And I said, well, wait a minute. Haney made the weight. He shouldn't have to do anything else. Those things are for guys that don't follow the rules. So that is what it is. There's a lingering tension between those two guys. There is, specifically Bill Haney and Floyd Jr. I think Devin's actually generally a nice, decent young man. I don't think he's ever really gotten into it with Floyd, but I do believe that Floyd believes that you should have been with me from the beginning. But again, it is what it is. That is the business. Haney Promotions, they decided to go to Mexico, start their career, and kind of branch out from one promoter to another. But it is what it is. Hopefully that's where it ends. I hope nothing else happens. I hope
there's nothing gonna happen.
Floyd ain't no street beef, but
Yeah, Floyd not even in the street. Floyd, even at the end of that video, I watched the whole little 10-minute little rant. Floyd was like, if Haney, if your son need help, I'll still help him. Now, obviously, Bill's like, nah, fuck that, whatever. But I mean, I don't think it's that serious. They're just yelling.
Hey, we got a new poll question, Steve. Tonight in Detroit, in the D,
3-1-3.
Does Caleb Williams come out in a dress with nails painted?
Oh my God. It would be on brand. I don't think he will. If he does, he does.
Be on brand. Y'all are crazy.
If he did that, he'd probably lose the locker room immediately, and I don't think he can really afford to do that. But
hold on, y'all. Time out. Listen, I'm with all the fake nail and all. I get it. All of that. He does some feminine stuff. This motherfucker, this dude, address JB. What made that even come to your mind? He gonna put on a full blown dress and heels during the draft.
I don't know about heels, but he got a dress on before.
Right. I mean, why wouldn't it? I mean,
why wouldn't he? For the brand. He representing the whatever. He's down.
It'd be the natural evolution, wouldn't it?
I don't know, Smitty. Smitty, real quick. Steve, would you buy one of these? I'm selling them. It's the Mile High MILF Hunter jersey. We're gonna go with. This is gonna bring us into our draft talk with you. We got a little extensive spreadsheet we created for you. And I want to play a game with the first 10 or 11 picks because Minnesota. How many trades do you think will happen before the draft? Because we always see it. And I don't know if you've heard the latest, but T. Higgins has demanded a trade last night or this morning, and so did Hendrickson, their pass rushing extraordinaire. Yeah. Can some teams get these guys, to bid my point all morning, get these guys, and it changes the entire draft for that particular team? Because if I get a receiver like T. Higgins, now it changes my draft and I can go elsewhere and not have to go after a wideout if I am a team like the Chargers or someone that needs a wideout. And then Hendrickson goes to a team that needs a pass rusher. It changes up as well, like Atlanta. Maybe they don't go after Latu at 8. They go after an offensive guy. So I'm curious to your take and we're not Nostradamus here, but how many trades do you think can occur before the actual draft tonight that changes this pecking order?
I'm the wrong guy to ask. I'm not an NFL insider.
Let me ask you this though: how tonight we got some teams in the top of this deal here. Chicago, we know foregone conclusion they're taking Caleb. Washington, though, do you see AP making a move and trading up 11 spots to get Jaden Daniels? Do you think they would do it just because of history with AP and him, Arizona State, recruiting him out of high school? I think they want him. I just don't know if they can climb that high. But do you think Vegas and that organization wants a splash?
Well, I think Washington's entrenched it too. If they don't they have Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah.
At the court, yeah. Well, they're going to take Jaden Daniels in. That's a moot point. The question is, do the Raiders draft Penix that high? I've heard different things about Penix. I've seen mock drafts that have him in the late 20s to early second round. So are you going to really? Again, I don't know if you play the value game at quarterback. If you like a quarterback, take that quarterback. They're very hard to find. Going back to T. Higgins real fast, is he expecting to be a number one receiver? Because I don't look at him that way. He's a big-bodied number two, very reliable. He's got a good catch radius. Don't know if he's a real true field stretcher. I mean, if you're going to get T. Higgins with the expectation he's going to be your number one primary target, that's interesting. How much do you actually give for that? And Hendrickson is a really good pass rusher. There is value for that.
17 sacks last year.
Yeah, I mean that's worth a premium.
He's a bad boy.
Out of those two, who is more valuable?
That's a good take, Steve. Because here's my question to counter you though. If I do take a guy like T. Higgins, who's a real solid 2, and maybe could be a 1, I didn't believe that DJ Moore was a 1 in Chicago, but they forced him to be 1.
But they weren't good though.
And then change my draft and go get a Brock Bowers.
Yeah, but DJ Moore was a 1 in name and forced role. There's a reason why they got Keenan Allen. I think DJ Moore's a really good slot, kind of a guy that you move around the chessboard. If he's your number 1 receiver, I mean, is he really in that class of a Jamar Chase and those other number 1s across the league that you think that's a deluxe number 1? I mean, that's like being a number 1 starter in baseball that has a 5 ERA. And it's just, I don't know, but you're number 1 starter, but you're not exactly Doc Gooden in 85. So, I don't know. I think it's interesting. The quarterback, there's going to be 3 quarterbacks going to be taken, it looks like, in the top 10. The question mark is J.J. McCarthy. I think he's the biggest mystery in the draft. Is he a guy that had untapped potential, or was he a guy limited by the system, or is he a guy that's going to be completely exposed for being what he is? I'm not sure about that. He's the biggest mystery of this whole class.
So do you think he goes – do you think – I think JJ can go to New England 3 over May and Penix. I think New England – would maybe take JJ there. Do you think they take QB is my question to you.
If I'm New England and I would go back a little bit. I'd stay in the top 10. I don't think either quarterback is worth number 3. Gotta have and again, I said the value for the pick, but I still don't want to overdraft the quarterback. So
you keep Brissett, you keep Jacoby Brissett and what's his name? Kappa or whatever?
Zappy.
Look, Brissett is a serviceable starter, a really elite backup in today's football. But, when you play a quarterback or when you pick a quarterback at number 3, the problem is there's almost an expectation you're going to start right away. I don't know if either guy's really ready to start. New England is not a good football team. They have a new coach, so Gerard Mayo is going to have a little time, in theory, to build this. If you can go from number 3 and you back up a few slots and you get more draft capital, and you can still get that quarterback. Again, I don't think this is a really great quarterback class. I'm not seeing 1983 here. So, I mean, if there was a clear number 3 that you loved, stay there. If there isn't, you may want to take some offers and put that number 3 pick up for bidding.
Cardinals, foregone conclusion, Harrison?
I would think so. I think he's probably one of the more safe picks, although I think Malik Neighbors is a little bit more of an explosive guy who could probably, with the downfield strikes, being able to take the top off the defense. But Harrison's the type of guy that you could just pencil in, it looks like, to be your number 1 receiver Every year he's going to have 75 catches at least and over 1,000 yards. I think his top end speed's good enough, especially at his size. So yeah, if Kyler Murray is going to be your quarterback, you do want to get him some help. They've lost some talent outside, so that seems to be the pick.
All right. Now, this is the key. I've always said the Chargers have one, in my opinion. If they have Herbert and he's settled there in Harbaugh with the quarterback, I like it. Where are you at with the Chargers? Are they going to act as if they have number one and go after a tackle or a big wideout? Or are they trading it? You see them getting rid of that pick at all? Harbaugh, Brock Bowers, I like a lot with Herbert. I just don't know if you're going to take a tight end that high, Steve.
Malik Neighbors, maybe I'm just telling you, I like Malik Neighbors a lot. I think he's ultra productive. He knows how to set up defenders. He gets deep. And I don't have a lot of faith in that TCU wideout, Q Johnson. He did not have great hands last year.
Steve, he played Washington in the final. He got to see you Dunzy or whatever the receiver is. I'm curious if he thinks of high of him. Like, does that maybe why he don't take him, or maybe he does?
Well, Rome's going to be a good receiver. Good size, well-rounded game. I get the sense he's going to be in the top dozen picks, but that explosiveness of Neighbors is striking to me. His ability to take the top off the defense. So I don't know what Harbaugh does here. I really don't. I mean, I know he wants to be physical. Going back to Brock Bowers, he's one of my favorite players in this draft. And, it's funny when people say, when I made a tweet, I said, Brock Bowers is one of my favorite players in the draft. I think he's one of the best tight ends I've ever seen in college. And people say, well, he said the same thing about Kyle Pitts. Hey, dickheads, Kyle Pitts has nothing to do with anything that happens this year. I don't understand these people that have to chime in their 2 cents. I don't. Kyle Pitts has nothing to do with the price of tea in China.
No,
but Brock Bowers is one of those guys, had a little bit of an injury issue. But if you look at his sophomore year, that's the guy that someone's going to pull the trigger on in the top 10. I think the Jets right now at 10 are the team, hoping and praying that guy's there for Aaron Rodgers to play with.
And if I'm the Bears at 9 and he hasn't been off the board, I'm taking him at 9 to help Caleb Williams out, because I would rather have a guy in close proximity to the line of scrimmage for a young rookie QB than another wideout. I'd rather have a tight end of his stature to help my rookie QB, and I just think that would be huge for them. The Giants is the critical one. I'm hearing rumors this morning from some folks that you know as well, Steve, that they are trying to move up. If they were to move up, I don't know who they're trade with. It would have to be Arizona, in my opinion, or New England to get a Q. That would be the only reason they move up, right?
So I guess the Daniel Dimes experiment is over. I would get a quarter. I would get one of the receivers. But again, I don't really love this quarterback class all that much. So if you're going to follow up Daniel Jones with a quarterback who may not be even the best guy in this class, good luck with that.
I like a tackle. Matt made a good point. I like offensive tackle, Joe Alt, or one of those guys right here to help Daniel Dimes. And I also like Brock Bowers again with Daniel Dimes. Help him out. Close proximity. Give him a safety net, a safety blanket. He can run block. He can help out the run game. You lost Saquon. You got to get someone else to help that play action game that they like to run with Danny Dimes. So I like that pick there. Titans is a critical one. I don't know what their roster is really like.
They're rebuilding right now.
They need fucking everything. So I don't know where you go there. I actually would just say, let's start from ground up, Steve, like you talk about, and let's be a serious organization again. And let's go get a big time offensive lineman. Because it starts with O-line, man. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to get a piece eventually. So all the nice smoke, the pretty windows and the dressing and the gold and the diamonds is cool, but you got to get a lineman. And there are going to be a few big-time tackles here available. The Penn State kid, the Oregon State kid, maybe Joe Alt. I think the Titans got to go O-lineman.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know where they are. Do they actually think Will Levis is their future? He actually flashed a little bit more than I thought. He has a really live arm. But this is a team that now is going to probably change their whole offensive identity without Derrick Henry. So I don't know. Maybe they get some speed outside. But again, if you're going to pick a receiver, keep this in mind. There's going to be good receivers in the middle of the second to early third round. There's a very deep wide receiver draft. So I don't know what their identity is anymore. They don't have Vrabel. They're not going to be that physical mauling, pound and ground type of team that you put into an octagon. I don't know where they go. I would like to know just how high of a ceiling do they have for Will Levis? Because if they think Will Levis is the guy, then I do think to myself, you either need a left tackle or you need to get him a true number one receiver.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't they sign Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard this offseason?
Yeah, and look, Pollard has got to know what he is. You're a number 2 back.
Yeah.
You are not a primary thoroughbred. You're not. It's just not your role. Ridley was a little bit of a disappointment last season.
Yeah.
But maybe is he a true elite number 1? He's been productive, but I don't look at him as elite. So maybe if an Alt is out there, then you say, okay, now we have our stalwart left tackle. That's one of the key cornerstone positions you need on any football team. So, I mean, Alt looks like a guy that's going to be the first guy taken off the board up front.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the guy you kind of sit on there.
Let me ask you, I'm thinking about seriously taking a bet tonight for pretty big money that there's not a defensive player taken in the first 10 picks. And I think there's going to be trades. The only defensive player I think will be picked is possibly Atlanta, the next team on the board at 8. Do you think they either trade with all the hoopla going on with the NFL? NFL already has said we're not going to sanction them this year. So that's not going to be they're not going to lose anything this year. Do you think Matt thinks they go offense and get better around the young Bijan, Kirk Cousins, get him some more help since they did get him? Makes sense. But also there's a guy out there that I think's the steal of the draft in Latu, a good family friend of mine from UCLA. I think he's a freak. I think he's going to be very good. Do you go get Latu at 9 as an edge rusher? Where you at with Atlanta? Kirk Cousins.
That's one of these teams that to me, they're a beige spot on a beige wall. I have no idea. Latu, I think, is the best pure edge rusher. I find it interesting. Most mocks have him in the teens to the 20s. I thought he was a little bit better player than that. Edge rushers.
Injury, I think, slipped him.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a premium on that spot, though. Guys that can consistently get double-digit sacks every single season. So I don't know what Atlanta does. I think they have a good 1-2 punch at running back. Kirk Cousins, this is what he gives you every year, about 4,000 yards, 30-some-odd touchdowns. And then generally double-digit wins and then a first-round loss. But you're okay. You'll have competent offense. We'll see if Drake London is really that true number 1 receiver that he would want. So I don't know. Maybe you play a little defense there. If Latu is there, the question is, can you get Latu a little bit deeper into that first round? Or do you just play it safe and say, this is our guy, we're going to slot him, and that's it?
Gotcha. And there's some other cats too. Jared Verse, I'm not saying he's as good as Latu, but he's a solid player. Dallas Turner. There's some other good defensive linemen too that I think they could go with. But yeah, for me, I said this yesterday, and I understand what Matt is saying and what JB saying, but it just I think Atlanta has so many pieces on offense right now that it just makes sense to go defense. I mean,
you're starting over in a sense with Kirk Cousins, so you got to now be a drop back passing team that now uses the back in a passing manner instead of a run first manner. And now you got to get him a threat outside. So,
I mean, Drake London, Rondale Moore, Darnell Mooney, Bijan, Tyler Algier, and Kyle Pitts.
You saw Kirk Cousins kind of drop off a little bit in efficiency when Adam Thielen lost a step and got traded out of there. And when he left Minnesota, you kind of saw a little bit. I think he needs 3 guys because he understands coverage. He's going to get the ball out. I think he needs 3 options. I don't know. All right, Steve, before you leave, the Bears at 9, in my opinion, if Brock's there, you take him. If not, I guess there'll be a couple of receivers on the board for Caleb Williams. Him and Udeze flew in together, I guess, and all this. Aduze. You think they take a wide out there? Do they take a pass rusher? The Bears got to get better as a franchise. So you don't just go. I don't know if you go all sex appeal here. You got to get some nuts and.
If there's an offensive lineman you like, and you just drafted a number 1 quarterback, maybe you go there. Maybe you take it nice and solid. Don't have to be like really provocative there. If an alt drops, because I know last year they got the guy to Tennessee. Look, you got to protect your quarterback there, and so look, I think a wide receiver, if you have draft capital between picks 25 and 50, there will be other receivers. This is an extremely deep draft outside. I mean, guys like Xavier Worthy and Ladd McConkey, they're not guaranteed to be first-round draft choices. Adonai Mitchell.
The other kid at LSU, Shaun King, is the best receiver in the draft.
Right. And so I'm just telling you that there's going to be about a dozen guys from this draft that have a shot to be really productive players. And look, the best offensive rookie last year in football was a wide receiver that got drafted in round 4, Pakua?
Yeah, Puka
So
Nacua,
I don't, I don't know.
I think Dell went 3.
Right. The word is as soon as Harrison and
Neighbors
go off the board, the runner receivers may not actually begin till about pick 18 or 19. Keep that in mind. There's going to be this gap where we kind of know the top 2 guys, and then there might be a run starting at pick 20 where teams may start trading back into the first round or trading up. So I don't know. If you're the Bears and you have a quarterback at number 1, I don't know. I may want to get him some help up front. Make sure he stays nice and clean because you already got Keenan Allen. You got DJ Moore. I don't know. Keenan Allen is still a very good, solid professional receiver.
Let me ask you this, guys. Keenan Allen's on a 1-year fixed deal there in Chicago. Do you get a young rookie explosive wideout to learn from Keenan for a year? Since Keenan's on his way out, he's definitely on the other side of great, even though I still like him a lot. Do you get a young guy to mentor and get there for Caleb for the future in this draft since it is so wide receiver?
Well, that's a Dunze then.
Yeah.
Because Rome is very well-rounded. I think you know what you're getting with him. He's a very polished route runner. He's got good size. He's not, I would say, an absolute burner, but he's got good speed. He's one of those guys that I also believe is a very sound, technically good player, fundamentally grounded. It looks like he knows how to play the game of football. So if you're going to go receiver and say, okay, we can piecemeal this thing together up front, I'd go with Dunze then.
Yeah, I like that. Now the Jets, what do you like there with Aaron Rodgers and coming back hopefully healthy? That team's did a hell of a job in the offseason. I think they won the offseason. What do you think they do here? If Brock Bowers, foregone conclusion, if he's available?
Yes. I mean, look, they got 2 tackles up front. A guy that's going to, made Pro Bowls, and Tyron Smith, I believe that's their big guy. Since you've got a couple of linemen in free agency, I'd go Bowers. I know Jet fans are always a little bit queasy when they pick a tight end. Number 1, the ghost of Johnny Mitchell and Kyle Brady. But look, I think Bowers is an incredible athlete. The stuff he can do when he's healthy, he's good enough that they run tight end reverses and end arounds with him. I mean, this is an incredibly versatile, explosive guy. I see a lot of George Kittle in him.
I think Hackett, though, Nathaniel Hackett's going to end up getting Robert Saleh fired is the problem.
Ugh.
Minnesota Vikings now. This is the last one with you. The JJ McCarthy thing at 11, everyone talking about Minnesota. Do you see Minnesota? Matt doesn't think they'll be here at 11. I don't know if they will either. I think there's going to be at least 3 trades in this top 11. Do they go after a QB here, or are they going with Sam Darnold for a year and then wait on a Quinn Ewers or someone else next year?
I don't know how good Quinn Ewers is. He's okay. That's another guy that's probably going to be in that discussion, but it depends. I don't really know how good McCarthy is. I don't know what the grades are with the Vikings. But the Vikings did lose a solid, consistent guy. I think Kirk Cousins is one of these players. You don't really miss him till he's gone. Because, look, he's not elite, but he doesn't hurt you. And, look, I know he has not had a lot of playoff success, but there's not a lot of quarterbacks either that every year give you what he does as a baseline. He's very reliable and consistent. That alone in itself is a hallmark of being a real steady pro. And so now you have a gap. Sam Darnold's on his 3rd, 4th team in less than 6 years.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he can't rebound, but there's a reason why. So he to me at very best is a stopgap. But here's the problem. Outside, you have a guy by the name of Jefferson you got to keep happy. And if he's going to be catching a bunch of bounce passes, he's not going to be happy. And if he's your best player, you got to feed him. So I would like to know how highly do they actually grade J.J. McCarthy, who's probably the toughest, most polarizing player in this first round?
I don't know if you've heard Shaun King. Shaun King coached them in high school. Shaun King said, and I trust Shaun obviously in this game for quarterback play more than I trust Jay Grizz in the fucking chat. But listen, he said the dude is uber talented. Like, he is as good as anybody as far as every throw. He can move. Harbaugh just played it safe and did what they had to do to win a natty. Physical, which this game isn't anymore. He ran the football with a great running back. He had great defense. Why screw it up? I get it. So if that guy's a hidden gem and the teams know, so Steve, this guy Harbaugh knows all these guys. If he's called Sean Payton, if he's called certain guys and said, "Hey man, this guy's literally the guy," I could see Denver making a move to get him, because I've heard that's a rumor. I can see other guys trying to get him, and that's why I think New England probably knows this as well and may take him at 3. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. You're right, though. He is the most intriguing guy because we don't really know, because we really didn't get to see him really utilize his skill set. We don't know how good he is. But I guess Shaun King said he's a freak at IMG. So
let me ask you this real quick, JB, though. I mean, you're the quarterback guy. Like, I mean, how many times, like, if you have a quarterback who is as great as people are claiming on your roster, how many coaches are going to purposely put them in a system and to where they don't get used? Like, I don't remember a great quarterback in college, especially
Tom Brady
not being utilized. He wasn't great yet.
Yeah, but still, he was
Brady
good.
developed in the NFL.
Yeah, and he was the 199th pick. I mean, we're not talking about a top 10 pick. We're talking about the 199th pick in round 6.
Exactly. So
Tom Brady had to share snaps with Drew Henson. People forget that even in his senior year, Tom Brady, every game, well, in the beginning, they didn't even know if he was going to start. They thought Drew Henson, who was this incredible prototype, was going to be like the greatest quarterback ever. And then they did a rotation system, and they finally said, "Okay, Tom, you've earned this." But again, investing in a 6th-round draft choice is different than a top 10 pick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how great is this cat for real? Like, we're not blind. I don't have to be a quarterback guru to understand when I see a really good ass quarterback. This guy threw the ball sometime. Like, he'll throw the ball 20 times here and there, 7. Like, it's like we didn't see any throws.
And he's a good athlete, Smitty.
Yeah,
he's actually a really good athlete. I actually believe you could run certain, if you want to do like the read option, stuff like you could. Again, you're gonna have to be really careful with that at this level. But he's a good athlete. He makes plays with his legs, but we've never actually seen them where they go shotgun 4-5 wide empty, and they're like, "Okay, gun it." That's just not the style Jim Harbaugh is going to play.
Before you leave, Steve, I got 2 takes. Number one, I don't know. The quarterback position has totally been changed as far as how we draft now, though. Like, it's more catered to RPO, athletic, blah, blah, blah. If the second take is, that's why I don't know. Brady would probably go 199 this draft, too, because of how the game has changed. I have to ask you this take, though, with the Chargers. It's very intriguing to me. You went and got Greg Roman, who has coached Lamar Jackson, Kaepernick, read option guys. And I know that Harbaugh brought him in for that aspect. Do you keep Herbert? Because people forget, Herbert can run now. Yeah. So are you going to add that to the repertoire, or are you getting J.J. McCarthy? This is why I don't know what Harbaugh's going to do.
Hold on. Okay, so if you're going to put Harbaugh on the block and make him your Herschel Walker of 1989, you better get a king's ransom, and you better hit on those draft choices. Okay? But there's an old saying, a bird in the hand beats 2 in the bush. In Justin Herbert, you're going to get Pro Bowl level play. Now, that hasn't always translated into wins, and I'm a little critical of Justin Herbert in fourth quarters. But with Justin Herbert, this is what you get. Big numbers, big plays. He's going to produce, and you know what you have. Every year in football, there's about 10 good quarterbacks. The rest of the franchises are looking for their next quarterback. So what you're doing is, if you're going to trade Herbert and bring in your guy, that means you kind of know J.J. McCarthy. The baseline is you got to be Justin Herbert. Okay, roll the dice then. Let's see how much guts you have.
Hey, Shaun. Shaun in here? Hey, you hear me, Shaun?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I still ain't recovered from Ryan Garcia beating up on Devin Haney, but I'm here, baby. My 85% today.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, I got to ask you something about J.J. McCarthy to answer Steve, because you coached the kid. Why, to Smitty's question, why did we not see him used like a big-time quarterback would be used by Harbaugh if he's so good and as good as you have said on this show? Steve and Smitty kind of want to know that.
Well, it's interesting because out of all the colleges that have put successful professional quarterbacks into the NFL, Michigan's the one that historically have done it without them being prolific passers in college.
Hey, Shaun, you cutting out. Are you near the mic? You're low. You're real low.
All right, hold on 1 second, guys.
You might have to mute YouTube because I hear you. I hear us. He'll come right back.
Bring him back in.
Yeah, we got an echo, I think, from I think he has to mute his side. What was he saying, Smitty? I didn't catch it.
Well, you're talking about Michigan's history of putting in quarterbacks, but again, if you go back, that's when they were playing complete pro style. When you go back to Brady, Brian Greasy, all the way up to Rich Rod when they went to Shoelace Robinson and they kind of went to more of that spread that everyone hated up there. Look, McCarthy can play. The question is, was he held back? And is he going to be unleashed? Is he going to be unshackled? See, that's what we don't know, because one of the things that you judge a player on is production.
Right. Like, you got to see it at some point. I mean, and again, we've seen Harbaugh when he has a great quarterback, even though he still had like somewhat of a run-heavy offense. When he had Andrew Luck at Stanford, they ran the ball for sure heavy, but we saw Andrew Luck. Like, we saw it. We saw he wasn't – we saw him throw the ball. We saw him run the offense. We saw the offense kind of go under him. And it's a reason. If you have a great player, a great quarterback, typically 9 times out of 10, that's who your offense runs to. So that's why I just have question marks. You know, I don't know.
Go ahead, Shaun. Say what you were saying.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little better. Yeah.
All right. For some reason, the yard guy decided to cut this morning. I told him
it's like echoey. I don't know why though. It's like not fully clear, but we got you.
All right, not sure why that's happening. Again, what I was saying, the only reason this evaluation has holes in it is because of the way they play football in college now. If J.J. McCarthy had come out 10 years ago, this would be the norm. A guy that came from under center, did not play in a up-tempo system where they're trying to get the max amount of plays in. Harbaugh was in a situation where he knew when he looked at that schedule, we can beat everybody without getting ourselves in a situation where we can lose because of deflected balls and that kind of stuff. And I coach JJ. Listen, I have Jaden Daniels is my top-rated quarterback. Michael Penix is my second. Caleb is my third. I have JJ as my fourth. Would I draft JJ in the top 5? No, because I think there are Pro Bowl, first ballot Hall of Fame type players potentially at other positions, and I don't think you can build a championship organization by drafting in the first round based on need. You have to take a best talent available approach, because that's how you accumulate multiple Pro Bowlers on team-friendly contracts. So I would not draft JJ in the top 5, but I would be willing to draft him if I'm Minnesota or Denver and I'm there in the teens and I'm talking about taking J.J. McCarthy or Terrion Arnold or the second or third defensive tackle or something. Then yes, absolutely I would. But I have
Shaun, where's Drake May in your view?
I'm not a Drake May fan.
Okay. So I figured. He's dropping like a rock, it seems like.
Yeah, I think Drake May is the kind of guy that we find in every draft. He's a lineage from an athletic family standpoint. I mean, a family full of athletes. Shout out to the May family. I mean, they got ballers at every level. Granddad, dad, brothers. But he's a guy that's going to walk in the building and look like the next great quarterback in the National Football League. But when you put the film on, you don't see the next great quarterback in the National Football League. So I think his curve is definitely going to be longer than some of these other guys. And what the NFL has showed us, you don't get time. You don't get 3 years to let a quarterback go out and struggle. And when he finally becomes a good player, you're the head coach and the GM and the coordinator that actually gets to, you know, manifest that blessing.
Hey, where's Bo Nix at to you?
He's Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder.
He's not a starting quarterback in my opinion.
Hey, before Steve leaves, where's Devin Haney at to you?
Hey man, I still can't wrap my mind around what happened. But you know what? This is an example, and I hate that Haney was the one that had to learn it. For all these young fighters that are putting the cart before the horse, that are anointing themselves all-time great before they really have to go through adversity, that are chasing the money as opposed to chasing fairness. And when you're talking boxing, you can't let a guy show up and be intentionally overweight and still go with the fight. Like, you got to bite the bullet no matter what kind of energy's there, and you got to get the other guy to replace him. And you just can't give Ryan. Here's what I tell everybody. Look at Ryan Garcia in the Tank Davis fight, and then look at Ryan Garcia in the Devin Haney fight. Put those two bodies side by side. It's not even the same guy.
Yeah, they pulled a fast one. I mean, Shaun, I've talked to people about this, and the Haneys, and specifically maybe Bill, was so confident that they could beat Ryan under any circumstances. But the weight classes matter. They had a fast one pulled. I hope it does not set a precedent where every big-name fighter can just say, well, I'm just going to give you some money. Let me weigh in what I want. That's not the boxing that I know. But this has to be said. Once Devin Haney agreed to those new terms, the fight is the fight. The result is the result. You have to live with it. But the question that you asked, Shaun, is you're right. That money you got, is it worth it?
Right. Because you went from a lot of people considering you after the Prograis fight as one of the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters in the world. So now, I mean, because of the way he lost, I mean, he's got to find out how to reinvent himself. You know, and it took away some of the fear component. You know, anytime a fighter like Errol Spence or Devin Haney or somebody like that loses in the fashion they lost, those future opponents don't come in with that same trepidation. And the one thing that I never understood, and I'm not a Ryan Garcia guy because I feel like if you don't take boxing serious, eventually it catches up with you. You can look at Ricardo Mayorga, you can look at a whole lot of guys through history that kind of shows I'm going to live the wild life, and it catches up. But Garcia had beaten Haney 3 times already. So there had to be some confidence from the Garcia camp. Like, we know we can climb this anthill because we've done it.
Yeah, look, there's a history, but we'll see. Look, the mark of greatness, in my view, is consistency. I don't think a lot of guys are not that consistent. I'm interested to see what happens with Ryan Garcia in the future. But as for Devin Haney, you can make an argument. He's lost 2 out of his last 3 fights. I thought Lomachenko beat him clearly last May. In that fight, everyone made weight, but it is what it is. But anyway, guys, it was good seeing you, and I'll see you next week.
All right, then, Steve. See you.
Later.
Hey, we got to tell Steve we're going to meet him in the, let's see, what's the worst bowl Miami could go to that they will actually go?
Hey, Shaun, are you on headphones?
I'm on my iPad, like always. Is it really bad?
We can't. It's hard to hear. Nobody can hear you. Is there a way to just go on your phone or no?
Let me try logging out and logging back in and see if that helps.
All right. I'm gonna bring Jeff in here while you're gone. All right.
Woo! Big time draft though, JB, man. So many just different decisions and different things that could happen. That's why it's so it's just exciting to really, talk about, because I mean, everything we're saying right now is hearsay, but in a couple hours we're gonna know exactly what it is. And like you said, JB, I think it's probably gonna end up being multiple trades go down like right before, and it's gonna be like there's no way it's just gonna be straightforward, just in order the way we think it's gonna go. It's gonna be a few different teams are trying to get better. Obviously, there's gonna be some trades going on. So, what's going on, Nadu?
What's up? What's going on?
What up, Jeff? I appreciate it. Shaun King having technical difficulty. He's gonna jump in with us. We'll go through the draft. We got a little spreadsheet made to plug and play. I know you got some bets. I gotta ask you right out the gate, though, dumb or smart bet? Because I'm contemplating it right now.
Well, I heard you mention that no defensive player will be taken in the first round.
It's plus 580 on DraftKings, plus 600 on FanDuel. I'm liking it. What do you think?
I don't hate it. I mean, as far as the value is concerned on no, the one individual you're going to have to worry about is that 8, the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, I think it's abundantly clear, and Smitty made a good point. This group has a lot of weapons on offense, right?
Not for Cousins though.
But also remember, this group was last in the NFL in pass or sack win rate. They didn't get to the quarterback much at all. Dallas Turner makes a whole lot of sense there at 8. And
so does Latu, but I don't know if his injuries are gonna.
I like Latu. I think I would agree with you. I think if he is healthy and the medicals check out, he's probably the best defensive player as far as an edge in this draft. But again, it really depends how you look at him. The Philadelphia Eagles, for instance, they don't care a lot about that. They'll take a guy if he's coming off an injury or has medical issues. Latu's a problem because some teams love him, some teams don't. I think one thing we can agree on, though, is he, at perfect health, is the best pass rusher in the draft, for sure.
John, this is Jeff Nadu. If you guys haven't met, he's our betting extraordinaire. This is Jeff brought up a good point on. I've been on record, Shaun. I'm trying to make a bet tonight, plus 600 on FanDuel, that there's no defensive players in the top 10 drafted for the first time since 70. Do you see Atlanta being my only obstacle? And do you agree with Jeff here? You think they're taking a pass rusher, Turner or Latu?
Yeah, I would. A lot of people are mocking Dallas Turner to be in the top 10. And, I mean, plus 600 is good value, JB. The only thing I would say, if there is a run on quarterbacks, I think a lot of the trade activity is going to be guys trading up to get a Dallas Turner, to get a Latu, and some of those guys that feel a need for a team that's closer, to being a complete playoff caliber, potential Super Bowl kind of team that may say, we'll swap first and give you a second to move up and get the guy that we think can help us put us over the hump. That's the only thing that would scare me.
Here's also another point, and he mentioned there's one team in this top 10 that will take a defensive player unless there's a trade. On this current landscape of picks, the Atlanta Falcons are the only team that will take a defensive player. Again, though, the great equalizer is the trade. But even if there's a trade, if Minnesota trades into the top 10, they're taking a quarterback. They're not taking a defensive player. The Denver Broncos, groups like they're not doing it. I mean, these teams that may trade or trade out, they're not going to come up to take, at least to me, I don't think they're going to take a Dallas Turner.
I don't know if we can show the deal with 4 of us on here or not, Bailey. If we can, be great. Looks like 3 and Sean's gone. Take me out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
You can take me out. I don't look that good.
You can take me out.
No, we're good. We need brother on the show. So, Shaun, Caleb Williams, foregone conclusion at 1?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, Washington, very intriguing. You and I have talked. Jeff,
I think this is a foregone conclusion.
Odds on this. Can the Raiders first, Shaun? Can the Raiders move up that many? And then, Jeff, would you bet that they take Jaden Daniels, I guess?
To answer can, yes, but I think it's going to take a all-time great haul.
Right.
Like they'll probably have to give up 25 and 26 firsts and maybe seconds in both drafts just because they're at 13.
Yeah.
And here's how I'm looking at it. Even if they do, let's say the Raiders do get that haul and they go up, they're taking Jaden Daniels, and the Commanders are going to take Daniels. Daniels is a lock at 2.
You know what I understand? If Washington was going to take Jaden at 2, and I have him as my top-rated quarterback, why create that bad energy with bringing all those guys in at once and kind of rubbing the kid the wrong way? Like, because I get what he's talking about. If you think I'm the dude, then what the hell are we doing?
Like, what are you saying?
I mean, I don't get the strategic advantage to doing what they did if they're going to take Jaden. Now you're putting negative energy on Jaden about how you truly feel about him.
So you think they can trade that pick?
No, I would have kept Sam Howell and then traded the pick. I think Sam Howell's a damn good quarterback, and I think if you put the right pieces around him and give him a competent offensive line, you can win a bunch of football games with him. But if I'm Jaden Daniels, I'm looking at the Commanders cross-eyed. It's not like they have a history of being great with developing quarterbacks and stuff. And I know it's a new ownership group, but I mean, come on, let's be honest here. That's where quarterbacks go to die based on recency.
I got
well, the top 2 picks is where quarterbacks go to die. If you want to be real,
Shaun King made a great point. If you're the Chicago Bears, do you at all think about taking Jaden Daniels? Seriously,
I don't think they can because
it's too much. It's too much.
They're not a good enough organization to take the best quarterback.
Right.
Oh, that's a good point.
They've got to take the most acceptable quarterback for their fan base.
That's the part I'm with right there. The most acceptable.
If Justin Fields goes to Pittsburgh and just balls out, they can at least say, well, we thought we were drafting the next Patrick Mahomes.
Right. And everybody will be like, okay, that makes sense. But if they go with Jaden Daniels, or if they would have kept Justin Fields and Caleb Williams went to Washington, and let's say Caleb balls out in Washington, all hell breaking loose. Everybody fired. So this is a safe pick.
Hey, JB, because we got a little time today, I want to ask this question. When you're evaluating Justin Fields coming out of Ohio State and Caleb Williams coming out of USC, they are almost the exact same prospect. Caleb is a little more consistent locating the football. Justin has better top-end speed. But if you look at Justin's ability to extend plays at Ohio State, it mirrors Caleb's. There's not a throw that Fields can't make. I mean, they are so similar to me in their skill sets that I just did not see. Like, think about if they had kept Justin, what they'd be getting offered for this pick right now.
I know. That's been our debate. Here's a difference for me. I like Justin Fields. I give him the edge in college, bigger, stronger. I give him the edge for that, and then also the fact that in the league purposes, he's got 3 years under his belt, which is priceless. And I just don't see how we're robbing Peter to pay Paul. We're basically starting over when we drafted Justin Fields. 3 years later, basically with the same franchise. You got DJ Moore. Yay. You got Komet. Okay. Like, I don't see.
Mike Evans.
Yeah, I don't really see the upgrade here.
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I'm going with the experience and keeping Fields. But if it was a fifth, we'd all be loaded. That's came and gone, and now we're sitting here talking about Caleb Williams, and I'm like,
Are we so let me ask you this. Let me be devil's advocate because I agree. I think a lot of us agree that they should have stayed with Justin Fields. But when we say that, are we saying that with the assumption that Justin Fields will eventually or end up having a better career than what Caleb Williams will have? Or are we just speaking on the fact that he was already there, already, had the experience? Let's just keep it rolling.
For me, it's about program building. The amount of resources and assets you could ascertain from trading the first pick in this year's draft, I mean, can change your organization for years to come. And I don't think the separation talent-wise between Caleb and Justin is significant. It'd be different if you just if Gardner Minshew was your quarterback. I'd be like, okay, no-brainer. There's a ceiling on where he can get you. Justin Fields' ceiling is super high.
Talent-wise, I'm with you. Talent is one kind. We've seen a ton of talented quarterbacks. But there's a difference between talent and then what you put out on the field. And as much as I like Justin Fields, we've seen Justin Fields on the field, and the productivity has been some of the worst quarterback play we've seen overall. So, like, at what point is it like, all right, we've seen it. We haven't made the playoffs with you. We see the numbers. He plays bad the first half of the season, and in the last 7 or whatever games, he starts to warm up, and it's the same. It just keeps on happening. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. So if you do have a quarterback who even could potentially even become close to what you're seeing from Mahomes, as a franchise, an organization, I do feel like you have to do that. I remember my coach when Peyton Manning had that little neck injury or whatever, and we ended up letting him go to Denver. We had a number 1 overall pick. We had a horrible year. It was questions like, should we stay with Peyton Manning? Should we get Andrew Luck? And even me as a fan, I'm like, I don't know. But Andrew Luck was so great in terms of the what we knew he could become. You had to go with that, and you can't be mad at the team for doing that. I think it's kind of a similar. Obviously, they didn't have a Peyton Manning starting, of course, but similar feeling where it's like this guy's upside is so damn good and so high that the Bears feel like they just have to roll the dice and go with him.
Yeah, that is not, to his point. I don't believe the upside is that high. It's not Andrew Luck. And this is why Shaun's point is my point. I I do agree with you. Definition of insanity is doing the same shit over and over. And that's exactly what this shitty-ass organization's done year in and year out. It has nothing to do with the quarterback. The point Shaun's making and I'm making is longevity as a organization being a serious one. They're not a serious organization. If you're going to continue to draft quarterbacks every 3 years and do nothing else interiorly inside that organization, get better up front, get better on defense, get better at wide receiver, how are you going to keep expecting it? All we do is talk about how bad quarterbacks are, and then we look at the roster and we talk about how shitty Daniel Dimes is. Look at how bad their offensive lining wideouts have been. Look how bad Chicago's been. Look how bad some of these teams have been with these quarterbacks who struggled. Trevor Lawrence struggled year one with a college coach. The year two, you saw him start to look like an NFL quarterback again. I just think it matters organizationally, and that's why you keep Fields and you get 2 or 3 picks like a Joe Alt, like a Harrison. Like you got some picks here to make to get better long term. And you got a guy who's played 3 years already and is taking bullets live. This guy, Caleb Williams, is a huge risk, not only off the field, but now is he really that transformational? I don't see it. I don't see this guy being a generational.
You keep talking about off the field, though. What are you talking about? I don't get what you're talking about. Off the field.
You don't get about all the shit that we've
been arrested or anything, as far as I know?
No, you don't see all the little shit.
What does that matter? What does that
it's
matter?
okay, Jeff, that you don't understand a locker room, but that's the painting the nails and the pink phones and shit. They don't really fly in an NFL locker room.
But we've said this before. If he wins and plays well, they don't.
If it was a fifth, we'd be loaded.
Hey, let me sum up this. I don't want this. I want to get through the draft. I got some interesting opinions, but this is why this is going to be fascinating, guys. This is the first true Generation Z elite, talented football player that we've seen at this position. Ooh. This has never happened before. And I would feel much better if he was going somewhere like Tennessee or Minnesota, but he's going to Chicago. Woo! And everybody in Chicago thinks that he's the missing link. And I've not heard one person when they ask what are the expectations for the Bears, everybody says playoffs. This is going to be fascinating to watch. I'm pulling for the kid. I think it's too much risk. The Bears have made their mind up. We'll sit back and enjoy the movie.
No doubt. Hey, yeah. Jeff, to your expertise now, what do you think that pick is? Like, let's just say number 2. Like, I don't know what the odds are. And we're going to bet some things tonight. Jaden Daniels, are you locking that pick down in Washington?
Let's just say this. If I were a billionaire, I would wager a lot of money on him going to number two to the Commanders. I think the top 3 are pretty much a lock.
All right, let's move to 3 then. Who you got New England taking money-wise? Who?
Drake May.
I think he falls.
Unless someone trades and offers a whole kit and caboodle. And you also have to look at the odds here. Like, we talked about Dallas Turner. In the last 10 minutes, Dallas Turner to be the first edge or defensive tackle to be taken went from -150 to 200. That's gaining a lot of steam. And again, who else is going to be above him? Latu, good player, but again, medicals don't check out. I think Latu could go in like the 12 to 20 range. The LA Rams make a lot of sense. We talked about them needing a pass rusher due to the fact that you lose not necessarily a pass rusher, but a defensive lineman. Yeah. Again, I'm looking at odds. Terrion Arnold, first cornerback selected, stuff like that. But yeah, I think 3 goes Drake May.
I got a question for you. When I was evaluating Latu, the one thing I kept coming back to, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, but I think he's one of the top 3 offensive tackles, the kid from Oregon State.
Fuaga.
How do you pronounce his name?
Yeah. Fuaga.
He absolutely dominated Latu when Oregon State played UCLA.
That's a great point.
And that scares the bejesus out of me when a rush in that's having success in a league like the Pac-12 that throws the ball all around, he finally runs into an NFL caliber tackle and it's just manhandled. In your evaluations, how much does that play into it?
Let me. Okay, go ahead, Jeff. That's it.
Well, you're more of the football kind of grassroots stuff, but I agree with him. Fuaga is a man. On the edge. He's a guy that I looked at the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's either cornerback or offensive tackle. I would love him. You plug him and play him. He doesn't need to come in and play right away with Lane Johnson over the next year or two, probably moving on and retiring. Yeah, I love Fuaga.
Hey, to be honest, I got all 4 game films. I got Penn State, I got Oregon State, I got Washington, the other USO Polynesian tackle, and then I got the kid out of Notre Dame, Alt. The Fuaga kid, by hands down, to me, is the best tackle.
He's a baller, dog.
It's not even close. Like, Joe Alt, to me, has a lot of twitchy flaws to me. I think Fuaga has everything that Penny Sewell has and more. And he just got the largest O-line contract ever last night for Detroit. 85 mil guaranteed, 120 mil as O-lineman. I mean, that's huge for him. Congratulations to that. So I just see that Fuaga is the still. If somebody risking says, hey, let me go over the popular guy in Alt and Joe Alt and go get the real guy, because this guy's a 15-year offensive lineman, in my opinion. So I agree with Jeff and you on that one. But who's risky in this draft? Who's risking going there first? Is my question. Arizona? Because I'm sure trying to protect this guy. If I'm Shaun, you and I are both kind of on the same page. Kyler Murray, am I protecting this dude? Matt McChesney said this is the year you try to get rid of that contract if you're really seeking long term here. But if you're not and you can't get rid of it, do you go tackle or you got to go wide out?
I think you got to sell tickets. And as much as they need like a legitimate all-pro tackle, I think you got to go Marvin Harrison, just because what it does from an enthusiasm standpoint, it kind of gets the machine rolling. And, you know, they're irrelevant right now. I'd rather be terrible and the sports radio locally be blowing up by how much they hate us, or great and the sports radio be blowing up by how much they love us, than just be indifferent, kind of just be sitting there. And people are talking about the Suns being down 0-2 as opposed to like who the Cardinals are taking in today's draft. Like, they got to get relevant, and I think Marvin Harrison does that for them.
Now, I've seen some mock drafts, Jeff, and I don't know what the betting odds are, but I've seen Arizona lose this and go trade down and get more picks. I don't know how they can with no wideout help right now. But is Hollywood Brown still there? Or is he gone?
Now he's with the Chiefs, right? He's with the Chiefs.
Okay. So, yeah, they don't have a wideout. So I'm trying to figure out, can they trade?
And they lost Rondale Moore to the Falcons. They literally need a wide receiver. They don't have
we don't need to overthink this. In fact, I'll tell you right now, you want to win a quick $200, you're gonna have to risk $3,000. But you want to win a quick $200. Marvin Harrison is the first wide receiver taken. You could risk $10 million on that. I mean, he is going to the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, Jeff, you're saying there's no way that Malik Neighbors gets drafted before him? Because I'm hearing some people like in the NFL who think Neighbors is better than Marvin Harrison.
Neighbors, and I have Neighbors going to the New York Giants at number 6 at plus 175. I think it's a great play. I think if you're going to talk about Daniel Dimes, maybe you give him one more year. You give him a strong, very good wide receiver number 1. And if he can't play well next year, then you move on. But you have to go out and give him a weapon or two. And I think Neighbors at 6 makes a lot of sense. But no one is going to take Neighbors over Marvin Harrison.
I'll tell you this: if I was a GM of the Cardinals, I would be trading out of this pick because I have Brian Thomas as my number 1 receiver. The reason that the Cardinals, and I think this is a super deep receiver draft. The reason the Cardinals will take Harrison is because he's Larry Fitzgerald.
Right.
Yeah.
And Larry was such a great player and person for that organization and community. Marvin's built the same way. Great wide receiver. Only deficiency is not great top-end speed. They're about the same size. They're going Harrison here. It's a no-brainer.
Got the long hair, got the dreads, you know.
And remember, Shaun made a great point. He sells tickets. The Arizona Cardinals were 30th last year in attendance. They gotta start getting some people to go watch them. And Marvin Harrison is electrifying.
And Jeff, that's a good point you brought up, because I drive there all the time to go see Pat in Scottsdale. I drive right by the stadium every time I leave LA, and it's in fucking Glendale. It's a shithole. It's in the middle of a shithole. It's on the right side of the highway there on the 101. It is an absolute shithole area to get to. And I'm thinking that's why the hockey team just moved out, by the way, to Salt Lake City. And the owner specifically brought that up. I think the Cardinals have a lot of issues outside of Phoenix there. And I don't know how many people are really willing to go there. Even though I love that area, I don't know. Glendale's like the shithole of Phoenix. And it's hard.
Yeah, I play for the Cardinals. I don't know why they would do that. anytime your home stadium is known more for the major events it hosts than being like the home of the Arizona Cardinals. So when you think of that stadium, you think of Final Four, national title games. I mean, you don't think of like, oh, that's where the Cardinals play.
Damn. Is it the same stadium?
Yeah.
Damn. All right. So Chargers, Shaun and Jeff, and Smitty, we've been talking about this is the number one pick, really. If you're going to value Herbert and keep Herbert as Harbaugh is, they got the number one pick in theory of things when you look at it. And that's if they keep him. We've heard all the rumors. I'm going to go after JJ, and he played for me. Do you really see him going after JJ, Shaun?
Well, the last thing you can do as a new head coach is get rid of Justin Herbert. I mean, if you want to get run out of town, I don't give a damn if your name's Newt Rockney.
Okay.
If you trade Justin Herbert and he goes somewhere and they're in the deep playoff run, I mean, you could never overcome that. So they're not trading Justin Herbert no matter what you hear. But I do think they trade out of this pick. When you look at what they did this offseason, got rid of Austin Eckler, got rid of Keenan Allen, got rid of Mike Williams. I mean, Jim Harbaugh is tearing this thing down to build it back up the right way. And to do that, you need assets. So I think this is an opportunity. This is a perfect opportunity, I think, to trade with a Minnesota who has 2 number 1 picks and acquire some more assets so that you can build a roster the way that you want.
So you think they go to Minnesota to 11?
Yeah, I think they trade out. Minnesota, to me, would be the one because you can get 11 and 23. Minnesota has 2 first-round picks. So, I mean, that would be the one to me, but I don't think they're going to select there at 5. They're not a player away from being a legitimate playoff contender, especially in that division. So I think Harbaugh needs to acquire assets, and I think this is where, if it doesn't happen with the Patriots at 3, to me, this is where the movement starts to happen.
All right, so let's skip then. Let's say that happens, and they go to 11. If Brock Bowers is off the table at 11, which I think either the Bears or the Jets could take, I even see the Giants taking Brock Bowers. Who does the Chargers take at 11 then?
See, I don't think they go tight end because of what they did in free agency. They added a couple tight ends in free agency, so like that tight end room is already full. And when you look at what Harbaugh did at Michigan, the tight end was more of an extended offensive lineman the majority of the time, and he was like a Travis Kelce, Andy Reid type of game where he's the number 1, pass catching option.
But now you got Greg Roman, who's going to run more sprint, some double and triple option that he did with Lamar, because Herbert can run. People don't know.
He's a very good athlete. I think with Rashawn Slater sitting there, you got a guy, wasn't he a Pro Bowler as a rookie? Then he got hurt in year 2. I could see them drafting Fuaga or one of these tackles and really solidifying that offensive line. Because Harbaugh's going to want to play old school football. He's going to want to run the ball, play great defense. So I think he's going to build it with the interior first.
So you say get Fuaga at 11 and then get a receiver at 23.
Or best available, whoever falls. Because they do have I'm not a huge Quentin Johnson fan, but they did draft Quentin Johnson in the first round last year. Very rarely do we see NFL teams go back-to-back first-round picks on wide receivers.
Hey, Jeff, what would the odds be on that trade?
Well, listen, I will tell you, I have Joe Alt here. I think we kind of read into these insider things. You're starting to hear more and more about Jim Harbaugh likes Joe Alt. I agree with Shaun. He makes a great point of it, playing old school football, running the ball. And Joe Alt, look, is he the best, absolutely best offensive lineman, at least to us? Maybe not, but I think he works really well with just what Jim Harbaugh wants to do.
Yeah.
I think he's right, though. This is the biggest conundrum I have in betting this draft because, for instance, like I loved McCarthy over 5.5. I just didn't see him in the top 5. The one concern was someone comes up and grabs that 5th pick and takes him there. JB, you mentioned this plus 600 bet you like. To me, if I want to make a strong 10, 20 to 1 play, the number 7 pick is J.J. McCarthy, and the Titans are the team that actually make the trade. Minnesota goes up to 7 and takes him. But, yeah, the one thing I worry about is the Chargers because I think Shaun's right. Are they 1 or 2 players away? Could they maybe take Oduzze, possibly? I thought it was either Oduzze or Joe Alt, personally.
Okay.
So this is a tough pick, really tough pick.
Yeah, put Joe Alt there at 5 for Jeff.
I think he makes a lot of sense for them there. But I would agree with Shaun. I think it's possible this could be the trade possibility.
Yeah. And in Minnesota, we'll stay at 11 for the time being. Who are we at? Giants. So you like Malik Neighbors there, Jeff or Sean?
I think you have to go after a skill position player. You got to give if you're going to put the shoulder on Daniel Dimes and say, "Hey, you didn't play well." Well, who the hell have I had to throw to? Richie James and these guys. I mean, you got to go after a player.
Didn't they draft a receiver last year, buddy from Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, Jalen
not
Hyatt.
the first round. I think that was like third or fourth.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Jalen Hyatt, and he didn't. And I thought he had that would have been a good opportunity. I picked him to win Rookie of the Year. I thought he'd be a good opportunist there, but he didn't. I think Neighbors is the guy, though.
So Jeff, at Tennessee, go ahead, John.
I thought so highly of Brian Daboll and what he did with Josh Allen and what he did in year one with Daniel Jones. I mean, smoke and mirrors. Daniel Jones threw like 14 touchdown passes.
Yeah, 15,
got
I think.
Got $150 million guaranteed. And at that point, I knew everybody in the Giants organization getting fired. And if they don't go quarterback here, if they let Michael Penix pass them at 6, they deserve to get fired. I don't give a damn if you get him T. Higgins and Brandon Ayuk. They still not going to be good throwing the ball because Daniel Jones sucks.
I don't care if you give him Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. I don't give a fuck if Randy Moss unretires and goes back to his prime. Danny Dimes is not him. Thank you, God. Somebody came here and said that.
Having said that, I'm not disagreeing that they're probably going to take Neighbors because, like I said, they're all getting their ass fired here.
Hey, I want to put it on record. I agree. I hate Daniel Dimes, and I've knocked JB, who said he was a good quarterback and a top 10 quarterback before the season last year. I agree with you. They are a stupid organization. They should draft a quarterback here, but we know they won't. You mentioned the Bears. They're just a dumb organization, right? They make stupid decisions. So do the Giants. I think they are in the mindset of, well, we'll give him one more year and we'll give him Neighbors who, we've heard comms to Justin Jefferson. He's an LSU guy. It's hard to fail with an LSU receiver, Sean. You know that. A lot of you guys know that. So I think this is the pick, and then they'll go next year and see what's up.
On 3, real quick, if you think Danny Dimes or Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback, just raise your hand on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I did it before 3.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I was trying to see something. All right. Continue.
Hey,
go ahead, JB.
Can't wait to do the show during the season. Let's go to all right, so 7, Tennessee. Jeff, let me get it clear. You're not saying Tennessee needs a quarterback, right?
No, I think the Minnesota Vikings trade with them to go up to 7 to take a quarterback, and I think they will select J.J. McCarthy. That is 20-1 that the 7th pick is J.J. McCarthy. 20-1. Look, Minnesota, Sam Darnold's another one. We're not going into the season with Sam Darnold as our quarterback. We're just not. We hear Justin Jefferson starting to get pissed off. You got to go out and get a quarterback. I think they trade up. I think if there's a team to trade up, it's them.
What are the odds that if they don't go quarterback, Justin Jefferson busts in the draft room, the war room?
That's a great
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase just saw what Armand St. Brown got from the Lions yesterday, 30 plus a year, and they sitting somewhere like, hey, this some bullshit. We better go get somebody and get me this football because if he worth that much. Man, Lord Jesus, think about what I'm worth. So I'm with you. I think Minnesota's coming up for a quarterback. I mean, they have mishandled the quarterback position terribly since Kirk Cousins got hurt. I mean, it makes no sense. What they go with Jaron Hall initially, and then he got hurt. Then they traded for Buddy from the Cardinals, and then they've mishandled that. Yeah, they've mishandled that. Royal.
JB loved Dobbs. Dobbs had 2 funky, good cool little games. Dobbs pretty good. Dobbs better than everybody.
Something happened.
I think Joshua Dobbs is better than Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I agree.
So, something happened there, dog, because you don't start off 2-0 and then just become off the roster. Like he's a third stringer the next week. I'm like, something
That's
happened.
what he always does, though. He starts off, a couple games. Once they watch the film, he ain't that good. What's up?
How can you take a man from the Arizona Cardinals on a Monday and think he's going to learn your playbook and start at quarterback for you on a Sunday?
Right.
I mean, that's impossible. On a team that's like in the middle of a
plays D-line, Sean. He just said, go get the quarterback. You know what I mean? That motherfucker don't think about that shit. Smitty don't care about that. He just want to see the final result. Oh, he got benched. He was third string. Motherfucker, he was on 3 rosters in 3 weeks.
I'm saying, why was the motherfucker on 3 roster? I'm digging to it, diving to it. You're using that as a reason to say, well, that's why he didn't play well. I'm saying, well, why was he getting moved around? Josh Allen ain't getting moved around. Joe Burrow ain't getting moved around. Mahomes ain't getting moved around.
I can dive into it. I can break you the facts real quick. Kyler Murray got hurt. Arizona needed a quarterback. They took him 2 days before the goddamn season started. Guess what happened? You had Colt McCoy there. He actually played okay. You brought Dobbs in. He came in and filled in, balled. And then guess what? We're not a team to win this year. Guess what? Trade to Minnesota.
Remember, you were also saying, though, when Dobbs was playing well, that he should play over Kyler Murray. I remember you said at one point.
Thank you. Thank you. And you
I
wrong.
agree. I said that. It's Kyler Murray.
So just real quick, I don't want to get off track. So Dobbs is better than Kyler Murray? Or is that the hill you're going to stand on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. Tennessee Titans, okay, we got that. All right. Atlanta's. All right, Shaun, here's the big one, football-wise, and then I want to get Jeff's take pick-wise, because Atlanta is the team that Jeff thinks defensively that's the first time if something don't happen.
Minnesota trades up?
Yeah, we'll go Minnesota trade up.
And they take McCarthy.
They take McCarthy.
Which would be the dumbest thing they've ever done. And I coach
agree.
JJ McCarthy, but if you take McCarthy over Penix, you're crazy.
Yeah, you're
another dumb organization, though.
Yeah, and I like McCarthy.
You coach Penix and JJ, right?
Well, I didn't coach Penix, but I recruited him since his freshman year. If I'm telling you, this is how strong I feel about Penix. If the entire draft played a game of 21, I like Penix to beat everybody. He's that kind of athlete in basketball.
Windmills.
Yeah, he ran
a 4.4.
He ran 4.4 his pro day. I don't know why he doesn't use it for whatever reason. Maybe he's a little gun shy because of the injuries and he just didn't want to get hurt at Washington. But he's as good of an athlete at quarterback as any of those guys.
Hey, he's a beast. Why is he not getting no love? Because he didn't play that good in the Natty?
Left-handed, dog.
Do we forget what he did to get to the Natty? The ball out to get there.
I've been telling y'all for 4 months.
Like a left-handed quarterback, 16 of the 32 teams are already going to write you off.
Damn.
They're unfamiliar with it. They don't want to go down the road of unknowns. They're just going to do it. I mean, then half of the other 16 that are willing to do it, the coordinator's going to be like, hell no.
He a bad boy, though. Ball come out on time. He comes out with a zip. He's in the pocket. His feet good. Like,
I'm with you.
He can win now with the right pieces around him.
I want to ask
13.
Also, keep in mind, he was injured a lot at Indiana. And maybe you're looking at it and saying, is he kind of like the Tua type where he just never plays, or is it? He did have a strong last year or two in college, but before that in Indiana, he was out every year.
That was years ago, though. That's old news.
Yeah, but he's old. He's also aged, Smitty. He aged. You do age after injury, right? Like human body. Hey, real quick, I gotta ask you both, all three of you. If I was a bettor, if we're all in here betting, Jeff, I would really consider. I think that if any quarterback drops, it's going to be Michael Penix. What are the odds that he drops out of that top 15? Like if he's sitting there at 13 for the Raiders and the Raiders don't move, Shaun, are you thinking AP takes him no brainer at 13?
100%.
1,000%. There's no way he gets past the Raiders.
Yeah, that's where I had him.
I think no way.
And to your earlier bet, JB, no defensive players in the top 10. It's pick 8 that worries me.
Me too.
Because you think Atlanta, now that they have Kirk Cousins, they feel like they're legit on offense.
Yeah, they solid on offense.
They need pass rush help. It's hard for me to see them passing.
Don't you see them also need, like if he was in Minnesota, we're talking about Kirk Cousins in Minnesota at prime peak when he was really efficient, really legitimate touchdown pick ratio, which we really break down as quarterbacks. Fuck all the other stats. The bottom line is you throw twice the many touchdowns as picks. That's how we evaluate this quarterback thing. If Kirk Cousins at his peak, when he lost Adam Thielen and that number 3 kind of dwindled and went to a kind of a role-playing journeyman, his consistency kind of dropped. I can see them going to get another number 3 because as you and I know, Kirk Cousins is the guy that's going to get the ball out on time. He's going to hit his 3rd and 5th step, ball's out. He's going to know exactly where to go with the football. Don't you want 3 big-time premium wideouts and maybe a tight end? Because you're going to use Bijan out the backfield now in the pass game with Kirk Cousins a lot more than they did with fucking Desmond Ridder, who was a bust. So I can see them getting offensively, or like to Matt's point, get a big-time tackle.
It's a deep draft, though.
Achilles. Coming up an Achilles.
Well, JB, the only reason that I say they're going pass rusher And I'm not completely sold that they know how to use Kyle Pitts and Drake London. I mean, Kirk's going to make them a little better, but it's a division. Kirk's better than Baker Mayfield. He has more things around him than Bryce Young. He's light years better than Derek Carr. So the Falcons are looking at, all we got to do is win the division to get in the playoffs. So that's why I think it's a no-brainer they're going pass rusher there.
And remember, they were one of the worst teams in the league at getting to the quarterback. They didn't have success even rushing the passer, getting close to getting to the quarterback. Dallas Turner is the best defensive player in the best conference. You got to go with him here. And that's your knock on defensive players. There's no one else can take a defensive player. This is the one right here.
And also, as much as we talk about, Kirk Cousins struggled a little bit when he lost his third receiver, maybe so. But when you look, and I know numbers don't tell the full story, but when you look at his number, he's been pretty damn consistent. And last year, before this man got hurt, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it was early in the season, so we don't know how it would have turned out. But this man was balling.
Let me ask you this, Shaun and Jeff. Can the Falcons move out of that pick only to go out of the top 10 to gain assets here, or do you see them moving up? I only see them going down, and that's why my 10 is strong. I think the Falcons could actually trade this pick and gain assets because they got Kirk Cousins, and they can gain a pass rusher later because Latu will still be there in the teens if they go down. And I that's my only reason why I think top 10 defensive guys won't be picked.
But it's more likely that they make the pick than trade, and that's. I don't know. I just think this is a surefire pick. I think Shaun makes great points, but their offense is kind of set. That's a bad division. They have their quarterback. We know how important pass rushers are. I mean, that kind of strong outside linebacker. They need to shore that up, and he does that. Right.
Let me ask you this: can Atlanta make a move, Shaun, right now with the latest that's happened in Cincinnati that Hendricks has requested a trade? Can they get that guy and save a pick and actually move up and gain some assets and actually go get a guy like Hendrickson before the draft, like as early as in the next couple hours? Because there's going to be some major shifting here before the draft tonight that affects the pecking order here. So Cincinnati's in a huge issue here. You got T. Higgins requested a trade. You got Hendrickson requested a trade this morning. Where are you at with that possibility?
I think that's a variable that, we won't know until it happens. I think Hendrickson is the most gettable because all he wants is more guaranteed money up front, which if you can give that to him in a signing bonus, you can prorate that over the years of the deal and make it cap friendly. I don't know why Cincinnati doesn't want to go ahead and just redo his deal. But the two guys that I think are very important to listen to any noise are Brandon Ayuk and T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Because when we look at all these teams that we think are taking receivers, if they were able to pull off a trade for T. Higgins or Brandon Ayuk, then they would really be open now to drafting best available later this afternoon.
I said that to start the show. I agree. I said the same thing. If there's a team needing a wideout in the draft, instead they get one of these guys. Now their draft changes tonight. So that's another variable that I got to look into with Jeff later as far as plus and minus. All right, the Bears at 9. Let's say they stay at 9. I think I've heard rumblings they trade it. I've heard other things. But if Brock Bowers is available, I know they got commit. I just think it's a great weapon for a rookie quarterback. If you've already made the mistake in going rookie again in Caleb Williams, then you got to get you another safety net attached to the line of scrimmage, close proximity to a rookie Q, safety net, Brock Bowers. I don't know. I like it at 9. Or you go get a receiver. To Jeff's point, you go get Neighbors, you go get the Washington kid, you go get one of these wideouts. I don't know. Where are you at with that?
One of my favorite bets of the first round was Brock Bowers under 11.5. I think it's either the Bears or Jets. I think this is a strong play. I think you make a great point about just having him near the line of scrimmage for a young quarterback. We know they have Keenan Allen. That's a group all of a sudden that's starting to gain some position. And look, let's say he doesn't go to the Bears. The Jets, I don't think he gets by the Jets. He would be a great addition to that group as well with Aaron Rodgers. I think he goes 9 or 10. So I have Bowers under 11.5. I think that's
under 11.5. Interesting. Because Shaun, let me ask you this: you got Keenan Allen on an expiring 1-year deal. So you basically borrowed him for a year. Do you bring in a young wideout to learn from Keenan Allen?
Good point.
And be the future with Caleb Williams also there?
Well, I'm trading out of 9 if I'm the Bears. I'm not a person that thinks they're one player away. And I'm not a player. I'm not a person. I mean, Keenan Allen couldn't run coming out of college. In the last couple of years, he's battled hamstring injuries, and that's playing in a beautiful SoFi that's temperature controlled. Like, how's that old body going to hold up outside Chicago, Windy City? Like, I've got question marks about where he is physically. I understand his football IQ, and he's been good for a long time. I think they need more explosion on the edges. I love DJ Moore, but he's not a guy that's going to take the top off of a defense.
Nah, he's not a 1 to me.
I'm trained out of 9. The only player I would take at 9 is Fuaga.
Me too.
I would pair him with Wright, the kid from Tennessee that played really good last year, and solidify both tackle spots. But I'm trying to trade back here and acquire some more assets.
I was going to say, if Fuaga's available at 9, I'm taking him right now.
No, is there no way you guys would, if you're the Bears, you talk about, Keenan Allen being a little older, dealing with injuries, things like that. Is there no way that you get Roma Dunze with this pick? Is it too early for that?
I mean, if I went receiver, I'm going Brian Thomas here. But I also think that if I trade down, I still can get Xavier Legette or Troy Franklin or one of these guys that kind of fit what I'm looking for to add to what we already have. So, I mean, I think this is a great receiver draft.
Not for nothing. You could probably trade down and still get Brian Thomas.
Yeah, maybe. Depending on where you go, absolutely. And I'm telling you guys now, Brian Thomas is going to be the guy 3 years from now, everybody looks back like, holy moly. I know Marvin's good. I know Neighbors is good, but who is this kid?
Hey, Bailey just brought it up. Caleb played with the tackle that's Penn State offensive tackle. They played high school together. So is that a thing? I don't know.
I like Fashanu.
Yeah.
It's hard to evaluate him because Penn State's maybe the worst passing offense in all of college football. I mean, that thing's hard to watch. So you don't really get to see him do a whole lot of pass pro stuff. But I mean, there's a reason he was the number 1 ranked O lineman coming into the season. Super talented kid. I think he's going to develop. Probably not as strong at the point of attack as definitely not as strong as Fuaga. They're probably not as advanced as Alt, but I mean, he's going to be a good player, but I wouldn't take him here at 9.
I got to ask Shaun, because it sounds like he really likes Brian Thomas, and BetOnline is got his draft position. Shaun, what do you think his draft position is as far as they predict?
See, this is what's hard for me because I hosted a sports show on VSiN for the last 2 drafts. And what I think a competent, sound-minded evaluator never matches up with what these clowns that actually have control of some of these picks decide to do. So, to me, what is his numbers sit at right now as far as his over-under on what is it right now, Jay?
I'm asking you, what do you think it is?
Ooh.
I mean, for me, anything under 17 to me probably is a lock.
Okay, so right now at BetOnline, it sounds like you should take some of that football money and go over to BetOnline and bet under 21.5. 21.5. That's high. I thought that was high. So that means as long as he goes in the first 21, you win. Sounds like 17. That's pretty good value if you like under 21.5.
I agree. I just don't trust the NFL to do the right thing.
Like Shaun, I've been at these drafts in person when my kid Jermaine Johnson was supposed to be a lock at number fucking 9. He goes 26 because of all the trades and movement that happens. And that's the worry I have with a lot of this shit. And that's why it's so hard to bet these. Like, I don't know. All right, let's go to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers gets an inline tight end in Brock Bowers. No brainer if it's there. I guess everyone thinks that. They're already solidified at wideout, I guess. I could still see them getting a wideout because they still talked about trying to get Devontae Adams. So I know they will still take a wideout if they had to. They got 2 tackles in the offseason. I don't know if they need O-line. They could go young. They could go young O-line. I don't know, Jeff. But
yeah,
Brock Bowers is your bet?
Yeah, I think they have a pretty strong offensive line. You mentioned, they got Tyron Smith, they got Morgan Moses. They could go younger. I just think they need to win now, and they want to win now, obviously. I think Brock Bowers, if he goes past the Bears, I think Jets make a ton of sense. That's where I had him. Under 11.5 is a strong bet. I like it here.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers.
Love it.
No doubt.
Ooh.
Let's see here.
Thank you for your take on the Vikings, Shaun. Been saying that for months, and the fit Penix will be for the Vikings. JB Smitty, Nadu, love the show. Big ups, Coach. Where's the best place to buy a cigar? I appreciate you, man.
High Times, Costa Mesa, California. You can go online, High Times, wine and spirits, or you can call Shaun. Ask for Shaun, not Shaun King. White boy Shaun. All right, let me ask you. We're at the Jets. Shaun, we just talked about Brock Bowers at 10 if he's there. Do you see any other scenario that they don't take a tight end if he's available? And if he's off the board, who do the Jets take?
All right, let me give you a couple different answers. If I ran the Jets, I'm going quarterback here.
Wow.
Smart.
I'm going quarterback here because I don't trust that Aaron's going to stay healthy. And even if he does, I can put myself in a Jordan Love situation.
Interesting.
Secondly, they're not a tight end away from being good on offense. I would rather get a receiver with size because they don't really have a.
They got Mike Williams, though. They got Mike Williams.
He's hurt every year, dog.
Again, Mike Williams is like trading for Kawhi Leonard. Like, come on. Come to playoffs, he's going to be over there in street clothes. Like, it's just not going to happen. I keep going back to Fuaga. But at this point in Rodgers' career, you don't need okay protection. You need great protection. And we saw what happened last year. I know they made some free agent additions, but again, is T. Smitty really going to stay healthy? They got some situations there with some guys that are talented but injury prone. So, I'd be going O-line here. To me, Bowers is for a team like, let's say, San Francisco or Kansas City, that already has a Kittles or a Kelsey. They're trying to add another weapon to be even more potent offensively. I don't know that Brock is ready to the day one attach to the tackle and seal the edge or, run stretch and control some of those bigger guys. And then he's got to be with an offense that, has the other weapons to really utilize his skill set. So I'm not down on Brock, but talking about from a betting standpoint, guys, if there is a guy that's a high-profile, high-name guy that I think can drop tonight, is Brock Bowers.
Got you. Quarterback, man. I'll say this.
Because position scarcity. Or not position scarcity, just because of position relevancy. I don't think a whole lot of teams know how to turn a tight end into like a number one option. I think because of some of his injuries recently, if there's one guy, I think he could fall. I do.
So we have to wonder if that idiot Nathaniel Hackett can be that guy.
Right. That's the biggest thing. If they do go with a quarterback, they better let Aaron Rodgers know ahead of time.
Hey guys, that's not his name. His name is Teflon Hackett. The only guy I know that can get fired mid-season year one from a head coaching job, become an offensive coordinator, and everybody in the building get blamed but him for how terrible the Jets were on offense.
He's got to have something on somebody.
Hey, Shaun, we'll end this one. I don't know what you're doing later tonight, but we may do a little live thing for a while. But let me ask you, 11, to Jeff's point, Minnesota's probably out of number 11. Do you think they're out of 11? And if they aren't, and they are 11, what do they do?
Well, here's a dream scenario. If the draft works out like we thought, like let's say they don't trade the 7. The Bears and Falcons and Jets aren't taking J.J. McCarthy. Minnesota could take the approach like we're just going to sit at 11 and see what falls to us.
Good point.
And not have to give up our first-round pick.
Good point.
Because if they don't trade the 7, Tennessee's got Levis, Atlanta's got Kirk, Chicago's taking Caleb, Jets have Rodgers. It could be a scenario where McCarthy's there at 11 or Penix is there or whoever they have them rated. Like that guy is sitting there. So maybe they don't move up. Maybe they just stay in put.
Unless the Chargers want to make a deal with them. I've been saying it all along. I believe Penix will be available. I believe JJ's going to be available or Drake May. One of those guys that Minnesota likes, I believe, will be at 11 and you keep your picks. Like
to me, Minnesota with Penix is a playoff team. That arm with Justin Jefferson and Adelson and Hawkinson and O.C. O'Connell that wants to push the ball down the field. There's not a better fit indoors for the majority of that campaign.
With that purple on, too, you already got that purple on anyway. You might as well keep it the same.
To me, that's a great fit.
Yeah. I got to ask you a couple things off this top 11, and it's ironically 12 and 13 are the two teams we got to talk about real quick before we end this. The Broncos, what do they do? Because they have to almost they almost got to move somewhere if they really want one of these top echelon Qs. And if they don't, are they sitting there waiting for, because apparently Sean Payton likes your boy Bo Nix, who you do not like. And I actually like Sam Hartman over Bo Nix. Where you at with Denver and the Raiders?
Lord Jesus, please. And when I say Jesus, I'm talking Geezus. Please let the Broncos take Bo Nix at 12. I need some reasons to laugh next year, and I can't wait to see Sean Payton like on this. Think about it. He got rid of Russell, and Russell was what, 24 touchdowns, 6 picks, something like that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Bo Nix throw 6 touchdowns and 24 picks next year and see how Sean Payton wiggles his way out of this one.
Man.
Is that what you think's happening there, Bo Nix?
Well, you brought it up. You said you heard they like Bo Nix.
Oh, that's what they're saying Sean Payton likes. You definitely see him available there.
Oh, 100%.
Jeff?
Yeah, listen, I'll say this. This is another team that has failed miserably at taking a quarterback, selecting a quarterback, finding the right quarterback. And this could be another situation where they don't pick the right quarterback. If Michael Penix is there, they should take Michael Penix, but they won't. For whatever reason, they just seem like the dumb team that will take Bo Nix. He won't work, and then we're back in this again. They have had – when was the last time they had a good quarterback? Seriously. Peyton Manning? Yeah, it's insane how much they have failed. Even Russell Wilson, Russell Wilson did some unbelievable things 3 or 4 years ago. He goes there and completely fails miserably.
Well, hold on, Jeff.
He's all right.
The demise of Russell Wilson is exaggerated. He was not bad last year.
But it didn't work.
Right. It didn't work.
They just couldn't make it work.
Yeah.
Sean Payton got
They're like a black hole.
Yeah. All right, Raiders, John. Where we at with AP at 13? If they're at 13 and they don't make a dramatic move, because I think you lose a lot of assets for your future. And I don't know if AP is built. I think AP wants to stay, but obviously, I don't know, if he's going to get that length either in his contract. Does he have to make a move, or is he steady at 13?
Well, here's what we'll learn on tonight. Who's really running the Las Vegas Raiders? Is it Mark Davis? Is it Telesco? Is it AP? If the Raiders move up to get Jaden Daniels, AP's running it. Because he wants Daniels. That's his guy. I hope he gets him. If Penix isn't here at 13, I don't know what the Raiders are going to do. A lot of people are mocking Terrion Arnold or Quinyon Mitchell here. Some people are putting one of those tackles here. I mean, I would go again. I'm a big Fuaga fan. I'm just saying, if he's here, I go there just because if you're going to line up with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, for them to have a chance, I mean, you got to be really good up front. You got to really be able to run the football. So that's where I'll be headed. If Penix is here, I think they run to the podium to select Penix. But
hey, I don't know. What pick was Robert Gallery when he got taken?
Ooh, from Iowa.
Ohio State, wasn't he? Oh, where was he? What was he?
Wasn't he top 5?
I thought he was. I remember, though. This reminds me of the Raiders team that took Robert Gallery. I think they could fall into a tackle here if they're going to stay with Aiden O'Connell. I know we've talked about Aiden. My boy coached him at Purdue, said he's just like you said about JJ, makes all the throws. That motherfucker can spin it, he can get it out. If AP thinks that way for a year and you got a good backup in Minshew, that was a good get. Do you roll with assets in this draft? And that tells you again who's running the show. Like, or does Vegas want to splash because you're in Vegas? You got to get a splash and make a move. So it's going to be Jeff. What's the odds of the Raiders moving up to 2? Is there even a bet?
I don't know of any bet you can make to do that.
Brian Case, Max Hess, can you find out if the Raiders get to 2, what the pick would be on FanDuel or DraftKings?
I mean, it would be a high number.
1,000?
I mean, you're going to have to give up a lot to do that. Listen, the Raiders, I mean, doesn't it just seem like it would make sense? And Penix, they got that big, nice stadium there, new city. I don't know. I had Penix going here personally, but
I hope so. I hope Penix falls. And again, the Raiders are in win now mode. The Raiders are not in build mode. They got to get some kind of tangible return on Devontae Adams, and then they just signed Max Crosby. Those guys aren't getting younger, so they're trying to add some pieces that make them a playoff team right now.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Sean. I don't know if you know this. Luke Getsy, I believe, is who the Raiders hired as their OC. I'm trying to look into his history a little bit.
From Green Bay, was at Chicago last year. He came along that Green Bay tree when all those.
Has he ever coached a lefty?
No, because he went Rodgers and then he went Justin Fields.
So that's one thing I would look at if I'm a bettor. I'm like, okay, are they going to bring in a lefty to fuck with Devontae Adams? Does Devontae Adams want a ball spinning off the right side of his hand? Like, I'm trying to figure out. That's the thing you got to ask. Is he at a point like, I don't want to deal with this left-handed cat, man, right now? Now, they are indoors there as well, to your point.
I think when Devontae watches that Washington tape and he sees a Doomsday and he sees, Penix throwing those guys open, like, that's the brilliance about Penix. This is not like, and when you watch Bo Nix's film, guys are running wide open for Oregon.
Right.
When you watch Washington's film, Penix is throwing guys open. And there's a big difference in those two things. And so I don't think Devontae will have a problem because he's finally got somebody that can push the ball to him down the field, which opens up the entire route tree.
We'll do a couple minutes here to end it. We'll give you a little extra hours, fans. Pound the like, subscribe to everyone here's channel. The sit down pod with Jeff obviously blew up. I was on his live last night on YouTube. Let me ask you this. Going to his Eagles, Jeff's a huge Eagle fan. Shout out to Jeff, by the way, Shaun. You didn't know Jeff back in the day, but Jeff used to look like this.
What the A quarterback? What the We have a quarterback! We don't need a quarterback in the second round! What the is wrong with this guy? He's a imbecile!
That one viral. I had a lot of. Yeah, that was a rough.
Hey, Jeff, shout out to you, Jeff. You came a long way, brother. Shout out to that.
Hey, first of all, just send me the diet plan. Like, God damn.
I will.
He looks like 1090 Jake now.
Right. Jeff lost like 112 pounds. That's just impressive.
So listen, the reason I reacted that way is because we have to remember, hindsight's 2020. They had just given Carson Wentz a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. He was their guy. They're sitting there taking Jalen Hurts, and it's just, for what? What are we doing? We have a quarterback. We have our future quarterback, but obviously now it looks pretty dumb because it didn't work out with Carson.
Where are they at right now, Bailey?
Well, they're this is interesting because we talk about the Broncos. I think the Eagles trade up. I really do. I mean, we know Harry Roseman. I mean, I think he's only selected at his actual position where they are. I think 3 times in his tenure. They like to move around. They really like Terry and Arnold. And that's one of the reasons I took Terry and Arnold first cornerback selected. We know the Eagles love these big school guys, the Alabamas, the Georgias. And when we look at Quinyon Mitchell, he might be the best cornerback, but are certain teams saying, well, he played at Toledo. I'm just immediately marking him off my board because of that. I think the Eagles move up, and I think they'll be willing to give up one of those second-round picks to do it. And I think it's Terry and Arnold personally. It could be one of the offensive tackles. And I think if you're the not the Raiders, but the Broncos, maybe the Broncos trade. I could see that at 12.
Hey, shout out to my guy Jason Candle in Toledo. There'll be no Toledo slander.
I love Toledo. I love the Mac.
Hey, hashtag Maction. Play Toledo. Hey, we had wars back in my Ball State days.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because this is one of the fascinating things about the draft to me. We watched a lot of Alabama football. I didn't come away from one game thinking that Terry Arnold was better than Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Neither.
I'm talking about not once did I watch Alabama play, and I was like, oh, Arnold's better. And as soon as the draft mock started coming, Terry Arnold, number 1 cornerback off the board. I had to go back and rewatch it, and I still feel the same way.
Nah, it's interesting, man. That's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, y'all fans, man, next 5 minutes we're taking questions. Yeah, what'd you say?
I said, announce for the last 5 minutes. We'll take some questions.
That's exactly what I was just saying. I was telling fans. Next 5 minutes, we're taking questions. Super chat right now. Final five.
If I could just throw one thing out.
Throw it out there.
Other than Bowers, I think that's a strong bet. I like looking at these props where I can find a position and say, okay, how many people are going to be selected at that position? Under 5.5 cornerbacks it's high. You got to risk $2.50 to win $1. I think 4 are selected, could be 5. There is not 6 cornerbacks being selected in the first round. I'll give you the 4 that are locks. Obviously, Mitchell, Arnold, McKinstry, and DeJean. I think DeJean could questionably fall out of the first round. Nate Wiggins maybe as well. But outside of that, there are not 6 cornerbacks being selected in the first round. Under 5.5 cornerbacks is a strong bet. I would risk minus 600, minus 700. It's only minus 250. That's a strong bet there.
And let me say something. Let me say something about betting the draft right quick, JB. You have to take this approach. You can never go broke taking a profit. You can't be looking for the juicy 15-1 return. Exactly. Listen, if you find a minus 180 that you think, got a 65% or higher chance to succeed, go ahead and lay the $180 to win $100 and walk away with $100 profit.
And you ask me all the time, Coach, how do you win doing this stuff? For instance, I always relate it back to Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather. Nobody wanted to lay minus 450 on Floyd Mayweather. They wanted to grab that juicy, sexy plus 200 odds or whatever it was. In the end, smart gamblers lay prices, okay? There's a reason the prices are where they are. And look, I make a line on these before I even look at what the line is. And if you said to me, what would you be willing to risk on under 5.5? I would literally conceivably lay $1,000 to win 100, just to win 100. Because to me, that's a free $100. I don't see 6 or more cornerbacks being taken. The number to me was way higher than where it's set. So,
man, that's a hell of a risk versus reward. But I get you.
But it's $100 I can make in 2-3 hours, right? No, and it's something that's likely. Like Dallas Turner, again, I'd be willing to risk much higher than 150 on him being the first defensive player selected.
No, I agree with that. All right, let's take some questions. Let me ask you. I got a question for Shaun first out the gate. Damn. Does Penix and Jeff? What are the odds of this one? Do the Seahawks make a move to get Penix to stay right there in Seattle? And can he fall to Seattle at 16?
No, because they traded for Sam Howell.
So you think they're rocking with that?
Oh yeah.
They got enough QBs in the room.
This is how bad the NFL is at evaluating quarterbacks. Justin Fields and Sam Howell did not get a chance to go somewhere as a starter, but Gardner Minshew did.
I know.
And Sam Darnold did.
I know. And they got rid of Small Hand Pickett. They got all these quarterbacks I've been saying. They're giving the motherfuckers up for Chico Stick and string cheese. They're not even getting nothing back from them. They just drafted them 2 years ago. So I agree. All right. Any questions you guys have, drop them in the chat. Jeff and I and Shaun and Smitty will take them. We're going to be, I might be doing a show tonight as well from the Cigar Lounge and studio. Doesn't the team need a strong right tackle if they want Penix? Yeah, well, they have to either move the left tackle to the right or, Shaun, you can address this. You got to flip your whole mindset, correct?
Yeah and no. With the complexity of defenses these days, like just thinking the backside rusher for a traditional right-handed quarterback is the only one that's a threat now. Does it really matter? Look at the Cowboys and Micah Parsons. They move him around. You got to have a good offensive line across the board now if you really want to be great, in my opinion, throwing the football. So old school thinking, yes, but new school thinking, if you got a weak tackle, a defense is going to take advantage of it, no matter if it's the right or left one.
All right, Jeff, Brian Case, another bettor that bets every day. He had a question for you. Plus 1,000 for Packers, Lions, Eagles to all draft cornerback.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bet I would make due to the fact of the Eagles love the trenches. I think it's conceivable they could take an offensive tackle. And as far as the Lions, I actually really like their corners. I think their corners are strong in Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson. I think they take a safety, and I have a safety going off the board here to them. They also lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He moved on. So, yeah, I think the Lions are the team that could screw you there. I think the Packers will take a Cooper DeJean type. I think the Eagles surely could. The Lions are going to be your knock there in taking a corner.
Hey, one thing I want to just as a side note to anybody betting the draft, make sure with your local book that you understand like how some of these players are rated. If you're going to take a cornerback proposition, is Cooper DeJean rated as a corner or a safety in that particular book? Like there are little nuances that you need to make sure that you know.
Generally, keep in mind, too, they generally will list it as DB in the case of safety corner. But that's another thing people don't. You know, people hit me up all the time. Why did I lose on this soccer bet? It was 1-1. It was a tie. I didn't lose. No, you have to. It's a three-way line. You have to pick the winner, loser, and there is a draw. So most people don't understand how to bet. They don't even know if they won or lost. So that's a good point. Well said.
Hey, Shaun, what do the Cowboys do?
Implode. It's going to be fascinating to watch too. I'm going to have so much fun watching Cowboy Nation just fall apart during the season.
Jerry
Jones,
Jones,
Cowboy Nation, but I mean,
Jerry Jones just came out. Jerry's came out and said, "I'm not real quick to jump on extending Dak, and I want to see more." What's your take on that?
Here's the dilemma. Why did you trade for Trey Lance?
I
That's the first question I'd have to ask, because to me, this should be a no-brainer. This should be, we're not extending Dak because Trey Lance has been so good in practice that we think he's the heir apparent. Secondly, if you're the Cowboys, you're always going to be good enough where you never have a high draft pick with Dak. So if you decide to move away from him, where are you going at quarterback? Thirdly, Dak has been terrible in the playoffs. Do you believe that that's something that's fixable or not? Like he played terrible in the first half of the match, but the defense is awful too.
That's a good point. You got me thinking right now. I don't know what he's on, man.
It's a lot of different ways to look at Dallas' situation. More importantly, for them, CeeDee Lamb is starting to be vocal about. And listen, Amon St. Brown couldn't have got a deal at the worst time for Dallas. The CD already was sitting out OTAs. And you know what he thinks of himself. And then you got Michael Parsons. He's pissed off because there's rumors coming out that people in the building don't like him. Like, this is going to be fascinating to watch, like, how this thing progresses for Dallas in the next year and a half.
I will say it's going to be interesting. If Amarius Mims drops, I think that could be a very good selection for them at 24. I think they're hoping that happens. But what I think will happen ultimately, and I will be quite happy seeing this, is they'll end up getting like the Tyler Guyton, the second or third option instead of Mims. They need to address the offensive line. I mean, it's been since Leon Lett, Nate Newton, the last time they had a really good offensive line. I know they had a decent one a few years ago, but
I'm about to say now, like Tyron Smith and all that.
That was a long time ago.
On there. Yeah.
A long time ago.
Jeff misspoke and speaking fat. Leon Lett was a defensive lineman, but I give.
I meant Newton. My apologies.
Yeah, Allen, my boy Allen.
But either way, name an offensive lineman on that team right now.
Now Tyron Smith's gone, so
the
you got
from Tulsa's the only
Tyler Smith is still there. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: what's the odds, Jeff, of the Cowboys drafting a quarterback?
I wouldn't know, but they'd be quite high, I would think.
I'm not. I'm kind of agreeing, dog. I'm looking at this stuff. I don't see why they wouldn't. Like, because either way, not to be the starter right now, but to be like, let's be honest, I don't see them extending Dak.
The Dallas Cowboys to draft a quarterback is 40-1.
I don't see him extending Dak, Shaun. I don't see him extending Dak. Number one. Number two, you either have to trade big dollars or big assets to get a big time Q from another team that's a veteran, and I don't know if they can do that. So who do they get? And then they're still going to have to trade Dak at the end of the year or let him go and get somebody. So I would see it at least.
You're not going to do it in the first round. I wouldn't think.
It might be a Green Bay Packers situation.
But who's even there? Who would even be there?
To Jeff's point right there, is Trey Lance better than Bo Nix? Would basically be the question you're asking.
Good point.
Because I don't think Penix or McCarthy or any of those guys will be there when Dallas picks in the mid-20s.
And let's say
McCarthy might be there.
And let's say he's off the board. Who do you go after then?
McCarthy ain't like, I don't know.
So I agree with you, Smitty, but I'm just saying because of Minnesota, Denver, Oakland, whatever quarterback falls, I don't think they get by those three picks.
Got you. I hear you.
Here's a great one for you. The Buffalo Bills select a receiver minus 300. And I don't know if there's it would blow me away if they go anything other than receiver.
I would say that's a lock pick of the whole fucking deal.
I mean, that's a strong bet.
Yeah, you bet $3,000 on that one.
Come on, Josh Allen is Superman, guys. He don't need weapons.
He can throw and catch it himself. You're right.
Hey, man, well, let's wrap it up. We appreciate all you guys. I'm going to probably do something tonight. Jeff, I'll hit you up if you're available for a few minutes. If not, Shaun as well. I might be in the lounge watching it live, seeing who gets picked, see if our picks match up, etc. If not, Jeff, if you're not free tomorrow, don't worry. If you are, we'll come on and talk about round 2 and tonight's draft on the show in the morning for Free Game Friday. And then Shaun, we'll see you next week. And appreciate you jumping on here.
Yeah, I might even come back on tomorrow for a recap.
Ooh, okay. Don't tease us like that. Don't tease us like that.
Yeah.
All right, bet. We got Tank Johnson tomorrow and Matt, so we'll have a loaded show tomorrow too. All right,
bringing all the brothers on the show tomorrow. I love it.
Yeah, I gotta get some more white boys, so I gotta find a couple other guys. All right, Shaun, much love. All right, later.
All right, appreciate
all right, Jeff, I appreciate you.
Whatever you need from me, I'll do a whole draft show if you want tonight. I don't, whatever you want. I'm
free
around.
tonight?
Yeah, I'm around.
You got some Stellas? You got some Stellas?
I don't drink during the week, but
Good job, Jeff. Having some discipline. Good job, bro.
Yeah,
I saw that weight.
3-day fast. I haven't ate. Today's the first day back to coffee. I'm gonna go run some stairs after this. I mean, obviously, I lost about 9 pounds of water weight, but
you're looking gone. I have to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna go change some things up.
But
I might.
You look skinnier.
You look way better, JB.
You look like you did when you were at Compton Community College or whatever it was.
Yeah, your face looks slimmer. Your skin looks a little better.
I was fucking 220.
I see your blood flow within your
About
body.
70 pounds lighter in Compton College.
I also want to shout out Coach JB. He came into my live last night. Shout out to him, my man.
Yep.
Did you see my my comment though?
Yeah, you made a comment about Patrick Mahomes. Yes.
I screenshotted and sent to Bailey and Smitty, by the way. Hey, you had about 1,000 people in there when I was in there.
Yeah, we were popping last night. Very fun. Very fun.
That's nice. You go live at night and that's what time at your time? What is it?
9 o'clock p.m. I look at it like everyone's home on the East. Most West Coast people are home. It's still early enough in England. I have a lot of UK people that tune in late night. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Smitty, good job. Basically doing nothing today and me carrying it. Thanks for Jeff and Shaun jumping on to carry the show while Smitty sit there and ate fucking Chick-fil-A. And everyone else got to see him eat. While none of us can eat, but he can eat. It's cool.
Eat Chick-fil-A every day, huh?
No, I don't. I haven't had Chick-fil-A. I had Chick-fil-A one time last week, but before that's been a while. Had
real chickens.
Vegan cookies.
Well, it's interesting, JB. I find it interesting you're talking about his work ethic due to the fact that I was listening to Smitty talk the other day, and I was thinking he was talking about his schedule and how he goes from this show to all this other shit. Like, but what do you do the rest of it?
Nothing. That's why JB be like, let's stay on for 4 hours, 5 hours.
Yeah.
This is only thing
what do you do after
I got a whole day.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, it's 9:24 on the West Coast.
I'm late right now. Like I'm late. I'm trying
the whole rest of the day.
Come on, Jeff.
JB don't give a fuck about my schedule. He doesn't nothing about what I got going on.
I do everything, Jeff. Everything, Jeff.
He's
All day
getting the
long,
mail.
I'm grinding, Jeff. All day doing a million things, Jeff.
Is getting the mail the biggest thing?
Thank you, Jeff. And Jeff,
Cars.
I used to do the full rundown too. JB, to his credit, months ago was like, "Nah, I'm gonna take this off your plate." But at first, I was doing the rundown every night. Keep it real, JB.
You want to do
doing this? Yeah, because I'm a fucking hustler. I'm from the fucking Far East Side. I'm from the hood. I got out the mud. Everything I got, I earned. Everything I got, I earned. Far East Side of that. Snow outside. Fucking hell. Evictions. Moving in with my best friend. Fucking running away from dogs. Got it out the mud. So I love it. That's what I embrace. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying this is my life. JB, soon the show end, he about to get a fucking Paloma. He gonna lay out music playing, surround sound, fucking mist coming out the backyard, big ass hot tub, AEs coming over. It's fucking paradise at his house.
Hey, Mo Martin,
I'm going to work.
You're 237 pounds. And you would not bust Smitty's ass. What are you talking
Mo
about?
Martin is JB's homeboy. He was his high school running back or whatever.
Martin. Jeff. Mo was a skull crusher, just so you know.
But Smitty's a tough little guy.
At the end of the day, Mo was a running back. I don't care how skull crushing.
He wasn't a running back.
That's what you told me.
He was a fullback backer.
Trust me, I'm gonna be real with you. No disrespect. Ain't no fullback giving me hell. Like, I think y'all let this smile on my face think y'all really think I'm soft. I think. That's
hey,
funny.
All-Star wasn't gonna run you over.
No, I wasn't coached that way. I'm all the way real with you.
Mr. Go 30, shout out to Mr. Go in the building. Mr. Go
later, guys.
I would have fucked. I'm gonna be real, Mo Martin. All due respect, I know you family and all that. I would have fucked you up on the field. That's a fact, and I mean that all seriousness. Ain't no fullback fucking me up.
Did anybody see Mr. Go's latest take on Ryan Garcia? His video?
No.
God damn, Mr. Go. That shit was hilarious. Mr. Go
I'll
does.
be around later, guys.
All right, Jeff, you're out.
All right, later then. All right then, Jeff. All right then.
All right, let's end this thing. Let's wrap it up. Make sure you follow Mr. Go30 on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. He does the best voiceover breakdowns of all time. He broke down Ryan Garcia. Maybe Mr. Go can break down Smitty or me cussing out Smitty when he eats Chick-fil-A. That's not even real chicken. It's actually rubber, and he eats it and thinks it's really good because they put a little sauce on it. You put hot sauce on anything, Smitty says, and it'll taste good. So, hey, guess rubber too. Rubber meets the road. You put hot sauce.
Everything we eat is fake, JB. Like, you can't control it. Unless you farm your own like vegetables and meat and all that stuff. You don't know what you're putting in your body. So all you can do is pray and go.
Go find you some chickens.
Go outside and go find it.
You can find some chicken somewhere.
You know what? I am in the hood though, and there are roosters. Is it roosters, baby?
Yeah, roosters. Roosters. That's the hood. Roosters are in the hood.
I'm being real. No, I swear to God, there's roosters down the street. I'm sorry.
I know that's the hood. That's what you're gonna see. Roosters.
I'm very comfortable out here. I'm very comfortable.
Hey, let me ask you. I've been driving around for a long time, the last few years. I haven't seen one fucking chicken anywhere. Like I used to see chickens all over the place. I haven't seen a chicken anywhere. Is that ironic? Because there's still KFC, there's still Popeyes, there's still Chick-fil-A, there's still chicken sold at restaurants. There's still chicken in the stores. Where the fuck are the chickens?
Bark, bark, chicken, bark, bark.
There ain't no chickens. Tell me it's all rubber. It's all fucking fake chicken in the lab.
We ran out.
Man. Hey, we're out of here. I'll be seeing you tonight. Jeff will jump on with me tonight. Maybe Sean Salisbury. Maybe E-Dub. We'll get some people on tonight to drop in while I'm sitting in the lounge smoking a stick, maybe sipping some yak. I don't know. But we'll break down the draft live. So come at us tonight, live, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. East Coast. We'll do a live show tonight as the draft unfolds from the Cigar Lounge, Slap Dick Studio and Lounge. I'll see you guys tonight. Smitty and I will see you tomorrow. And appreciate Smitty staying 30 minutes longer because usually we end exactly at 9. And today we went a little over. So shout out. And hey, this motherfucker knows what's up all the time. This guy knows the time.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys, and we will see you tonight and tomorrow. Peace.
Issues get pressed so fast you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown.